Should we turn on some lights? What do we think? Turn on some lights here. Probably better now. It's a little more inviting, a little warmer. Maybe the lower one too. Okay. Oh, oh, oh. Yes, I'm wearing the same shirt from yesterday. We're gonna watch some women today, I guess. It's gonna be women overload, bro. We're gonna listen and learn. Listen and learn. I don't know. Some of this stuff might be triggering for you guys, so hopefully you're okay. Hopefully you can handle it. I don't know. I don't even have any videos planned really. I'm just gonna see what we got on the interwebs. Fix and chill isn't a date. Maybe we can save that for later. Get that for later. That for later. Maybe some B. Some B. Wait for later. Experience is the experience of reflections on consciousness, quality of the meaningful life. Oh, Jesus. Sounds very complex. Oh, we got Umiverse. We got Umiverse in the feed. Should probably watch this, huh? Umiverse. Good old Yumi. Good old Yumi. My most personal video yet. My autistic. Sure, why not? Oh, it's hard to not be nihilistic. Sure. 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 That loser, just too self-aware. We already have one of her, right? Never love drama. Feeling Marisa. That one. I choose to live in complete solitude. I doubt it. Why is she popping up so much on my feed? If you guys haven't listened to I Built the Sky's most recent album titled I Promise Me You'll Thrive. It's fantastic. It's a fantastic album. It's incredible. It's incredible. There's Yumi again, Shelby. That was 8 months ago. She probably is. I doesn't think that anymore. 4 weeks ago. Qualified to fall in love. Sure, why not? It's good old Yumi. Good old Yumi. Yumi. Not a lot of women in my feed. Probably a good thing, huh? A lot of women in my feed. It will be after today. It'll only be women. What's this? Have no friends. Name. Sartre. 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 Got any loosh today? Oh, we're gonna pile on the loosh, man. We're gonna pile on the loosh. You are going to give me your loosh. I'm gonna play some video. You know what we need? We need some YV edit. YV edit. She's the queen. She's the queen. She's the queen. YV edit. We like some YV edit, huh? YV edit. Oh boy. Discard. That looks good. Terrible performance of manhood. These ones are long. I don't really want a long one. Problem with being a good wife. Happy husbands all sound the same. Manifesting your dream, man. Collapse of unconditional love under the patriarchy. That's a 51-minute video. Sorry, but Jim Halpert is a loser. Female-centered relationships work. Wanting to turn your brain off as a trauma response. Patriarchy turns men into liabilities. Yeah, that's some good YV edit there. Good YV edit. Now let's see. Change. My feed hasn't really changed. Y'all aren't gooning like me. Why not? Where are all the women? I only see like 3 women on my feed. All the women, bro. Now I just have lawnmower stuff. Because some guy recommended lawn mowing. Ugh. Gotta love the internet, huh? Oh boy. Gotta love the internet. Got to. Got to. All right. All right. What do we got? Watch later. All right. Let's see. Got a lot of YV edit. Oh, this one. You don't know who he is until he's aroused. All right. I just got to pick something, don't I? It's hard to pick. Hard to pick. All right. Start with the black one.
Woman left a comment under one of my videos where she said that I gave the impression that sex was a war zone.
I don't think we need the closed captions, do we? We can understand her accent. We can understand her accent, I think. Can we know? Can we know? Just be a Sigma? Just be a Sigma?
And I wanted to address this directly in this video because sex is one of the biggest invisible contracts that women have to navigate in this life. Okay, there are lots of invisible contracts around sex that women have inherited, and we are through enforcement.
What's this? It's like a mic on a. What is this? Like a washcloth or something? What is that? What is that? I don't even know what that is.
Repetition, incentive, reward, we are pressured into obeying in order to survive, in order to be accepted, okay, in society. And one thing I will start by saying here is that ultimately and overall, women are not allowed to experience sex on their own terms and have or experience pleasure. That's not the point of sex, really, in terms of society's view of women and sex, okay? And so I've been doing this series of videos on TikTok this week where I talk about some of these invisible contracts. And one of the videos that I did, and I was really about the fact that a lot of the time women are disbelieved when they share certain experiences when it comes to sex. Okay.
Wait, hold on. I need to move Wilson. Wilson's got to see. He can't see right now. He's fucking barking at me. Move me, bitch. Move me. Dude, look at how fat I look in the fucking. Crazy. All muscle, baby. It's all muscle. Building muscle. That's what we're doing. Guess I have to move over a bit. Still can't really see him, can you? Gotta keep my head over here. Damn. All right.
They're disbelieved, okay, when they say I felt violated or that experience was painful, it wasn't consensual, or even if it was consensual, it was not enjoyable. There was discomfort, there was pain, and you are often dismissed diminished, ignored. You're told that you're exaggerating, you're oversensitive, you're overthinking. And so I drew some, I kind of.
She lives in a pretty minimalist place, huh? Look at this. Just a small ass couch and like nothing except for a table and a plant. Pretty minimalist, huh?
Talked about some examples of this. And one of the things that actually led me to talk about this publicly was I had seen something come up on my feed about bisexual men. And there were quite a few bisexual men discussing their experiences when it comes to intimacy with other men. And what came out of those conversations for me, light bulbs went off. And actually, for me, it was hugely validating, because there are some bisexual men, and I came to understand after doing this video that this is something that is often talked about inside the LGBTQI plus community, particularly amongst men, and even amongst gay men, bisexual men, and actually even amongst lesbians, was about penetration. Okay. And I talked about the fact that penetration is inextricably linked to power and dominance. It is not neutral as an activity at all, actually. And what happened was, when I was going down this rabbit hole of research after seeing that one video, this bisexual man said he actually prefers not to be intimate with other men because of how unsafe, uncomfortable at times that experience is, because of the dynamic of penetration and power. Right? Now, I loop this back around to the fact that I was saying that women are often dismissed when they share their experiences of being with a man, and quite often heterosexual men do not understand this because they're not with men. Right? And unless you've ever been alone with a man, especially when there's like this shift energetically, okay? And there's two elements to this that I talked about in the video. One is when a man is in an aroused state. And the other piece is when a man has the intent to seek release using your body. And energetically, what that shift feels like when you are the woman in the situation. Now, I want to be very clear here. Like I say, the experience that I gave obviously was in a non-consensual scenario, right? And I talked about the vacancy in the eyes. I talked about, it's a very visceral experience. And I know this can make people feel really uncomfortable, and it does call for maturity, this conversation. And this is the reality that I don't think is discussed enough, and why people don't understand why these experiences can be very violating. Okay, the depth of violation. But also, what was interesting is that in the comments, there were women who had remained virgins until marriage and experienced something very similar. So even in the dynamic of consensual sex, the experience was traumatic for their body and their nervous system. I want to read some of the comments that came up, because it certainly, for me, I knew I wasn't going crazy. Okay, and my first assault was 7 years ago. And so I've had a long time to think about it privately, of course, and I've journaled about it. And it was the first time I'd spoken about it publicly. And like I said, the video went viral. Okay, and there were people of all kinds in the comments sharing their experiences about this. And it's so important, I believe, because this is the type of education, as it were, like this practical intelligence about intimacy that isn't even passed down often to girls or boys, but particularly to girls, because the experience I was describing, or trying to describe, because it is very visceral. And actually, your nervous system might not know the difference, whether it's consensual or non-consensual. The feeling in your body, the sensations, as I say, the energy that shifts when you are with a man, okay? And as I say, if he is in an aroused state, and or if he has the intent to seek release using your body. Because in those...
Why does she say using your body? Why does she phrase it like that? I mean, don't we both use each other for release? Isn't that kind of the whole point? I don't know. I mean, I kind of get what she's saying. I mean, I definitely I can understand, but I still don't understand like what's the takeaway? Like, what's the point? What's the what's what's the point? Maybe it's like is it bad to penetrate? So then maybe penetration shouldn't exist or something. Maybe penetration shouldn't exist. Maybe that's what she's getting at. Need to do away with penetration, maybe. Do away with penetration. Doesn't sound too bad, does it? Maybe we can just do away with penetration. We don't want anyone to feel violated. We can do away with penetration, and then we can prevent women from ever having negative experiences where they feel in pain or violated in any way. They protect them from that energy shift, you know. Maybe that's it. Maybe you should maybe we should disclose to women before we have sex with them, hey, I'm gonna have a real energy shift here real quick. Just letting you know. My energy shifts when I'm aroused. So maybe you should say that on the first date. On a date. Hey, are you sure you want to date me? Because like my energy shifts when I'm aroused. So you could feel violated. You might be in pain. You might regret it. Even if it's consensual. Even if you're accepting it in the moment, you might not. You might regret it. Maybe we should just not then. Should I get a robot girlfriend? Maybe I should get a robot girlfriend. They don't feel violation or pain or regret. Or do they? Maybe that's it. Yeah, I don't think you can handle my energy shift. Or maybe you shouldn't phrase it like that. Because of course she can handle the energy shift, right? If you told her, hey, I don't think you can handle my energy shift, well, that's being condescending to women. You're assuming that she's not strong enough to handle your energy shift. Putting her lower than you, or assuming that she's not strong enough. Sure she is. Dangerous. Penetration, dangerous. It's dangerous penetration. Shit. Probably just do away with it. Huh? I think that's the safest route. That's the safest route. Probably just do away with this whole penetration nonsense. Don't want any pain. Don't want any feelings of violation. It's not good. That's not good. I agree with her. Fully. 100%. She's completely correct here. She's onto something here. I like it. I like what she's saying. I like what she's saying. Raymond sends the $5. Says, I can't believe he gets away with making fun of these strong, independent womans with no. What's a woman? Oh, a woman. With no false hate speech strikes. Am I making fun of them, though? I'm agreeing with them. What do you mean? How have I made fun of her? I've literally only agreed with her. And I've like proposed solutions to the problem. I'm literally praising her. All I've done is just praise her. So Yeah, Alice says he supports her 10,000%. 10,000% I support this woman. 100%. We need to do away with penetration. I'm on board here. I'm not, no, don't get it twisted, bruh. I'm agreeing with these women. That's the difference.
Those moments, okay, your comfort, your pleasure, your dignity, that's not a priority in a non-consensual situation, and even sometimes in consensual situations, because of the socialization around sex, one, for different genders, but two, like I said, the fact of the matter is, it's a very, penetration is not neutral. It is not neutral, and we can see this. And it was so funny because I'll get to the comments in a moment. And I'm going to do a series on this. I've been asked to do a series on this because there's so many parts to this in terms of what women are taught about sex and how women are prepared for sex and the reality of sex, the unfortunate reality of sex, and also, as I say, intercourse more specifically.
Yeah, we need to prepare them. Prepare them better.
Someone stitched, one of my kind of peers stitched the video, and she talked about Heated Rivalry, which is that show. I've never watched it myself, but a show that was really popular when it came out, and I believe it depicted this relationship between two men. And she made the point that a lot of the commentary around the sex scenes in particular, a word that was used by a man, I think some men watching, was barbaric.
Mm.
You see, and this is the thing, when you even think about the words that are often used around to describe sex, the adjectives that are used to describe sex, they are usually on the aggressive and violent side of things, okay? And so when you have not been
Yeah. How many times on Pornhub do you like watch it and it's like girl destroyed by like 5 dudes or something like that? Girl spit roasted. She spit roasted. Jesus Christ. Girl, used and, you know, yeah, not good. Not good. Not good. Not good.
taught that element, taught about that element as a woman, as a young woman, and I say it applies whether you are abstaining into a marriage, because intercourse is intercourse.
Yeah.
And it can be a
Can't escape it.
shock to the body. And like I say, the man's character, his actions
Completely
in the
changes.
midst of arousal is a huge factor here.
Yeah.
And then you add in penetration.
It's like he changed it into a monster or something, you know? Monster. Just a monster, bro. Damn. I don't know how they do it. I don't know how women do it. Man.
It's a huge factor in terms of the experience on for the woman's body and your nervous system. And so my point here is this, before we get into the comments on this, because I thought it would be important to talk about this. I wish this kind of information, education was passed down to me long before, unfortunately, my first assault. Because, you know, women or girls are often encouraged not to have sex, period. And if you grow up in a religion like the one I grew up in, you are not having sex before marriage. But there often isn't any other actual practical information given, okay, about the reality of intercourse and penetration, and how much it matters as to that man's character. But also, you know, there is a belief, and this was a belief that I heard publicly shared in one of the worship meetings in my old religion when I was in my teens, that when a man is aroused, he can't help himself. He can't stop himself. Now, what does that really say for the woman in that scenario and her experience? Now, let me read you some of the comments that came up in the video, in the comments, right? One woman said that she felt cornered. She felt like prey. And I want to say this. These are women describing sex with their husbands and with their partners. I'm not even including the non-consensual scenarios that came up in the comments at all.
Crazy.
Okay? And I think this is important because I think what often happens is, and I experienced
So what do we do? What do we do? I'm sure she has the solution. What do we do? I'd love to hear like what do we do, man? What do we do about this? What do we do about this? We need to solve this. We need to prevent this.
this when on my first assault, I mistakenly, of course, shared it with some older women. I was about to say mature, but they weren't emotionally mature. They were just old in age. And, there's this vibe that, well, if you're married to someone, this doesn't happen. So the real issue
Strong.
is that you weren't married to him and you shouldn't have been alone with him anyway, right? Even though that wasn't the circumstance in which I was assaulted. But there's this attitude that actually these things happen to you, okay, if you haven't done it God's way, if you haven't done it the right way. But actually, the evidence, which I was aware of before, but now there are hundreds of comments from women saying the same thing, that actually these are with people that they've made vows to, people that they love, people that they respect, that they thought respected them. And this was the bodily experience during sex. Okay. So I think it's so important to get that laid out already. Again, not to demonize men. I'm talking about the practical, often body experience when it comes to intercourse and penetration specifically. And as I say, that was validated when I started to hear the stories of men who are intimate with other men. And the fact of the matter is, even when you listen
Also known as the gays.
to the language that men use, they recognize that there is a
Do you know the gays?
barbaric element quite often when it comes to penetration. So, the other comments here that I thought I would pick up on and share is that, let's see here. Yes, there we go. One woman said that her body and mind have never recovered from that first experience. Those were her words. Another woman said that she felt completely alone and isolated in that experience, that she didn't recognize her partner. Another woman talked about the resentment that she has felt ever since. I think this stuff is very important. And like I say, often women are told that they're overthinking.
Yeah, what do we do about it?
That they're exaggerating. All right. And one of the more deplorable things I've actually seen a lot of, Christian influencers.
It's got to be something where we can like, if like a man is having sex with a woman, like she can like, I don't know, like a shock collar or something. You know? Maybe like a shock collar or something. When the energy shift is a little too much and she's starting to feel, afraid or violated, maybe you just hit that shock collar. You know? I mean, what do you do? Maybe have what, like a trusted third party or something. Maybe like a friend. Maybe women can start bringing in like a monitor, like a friend, like a female friend to just kind of monitor the situation. Um, I mean, two men versus a woman, maybe that's bad too, because it's possible that he might just violate both of them, you know what I mean? Like who knows if they can both take him, so he might lose control. So like maybe they need maybe the monitor needs like a gun. I would say the monitor should be a male, but then I mean, what are we even doing? It's gonna be you're just asking for like a double penetration or something like that. We don't want that. The man's not gonna feel like a man's gonna side with the man in a situation when the woman's feeling fearful. So like maybe a woman should have like a gun or something. Like the monitor should have like a gun, or like maybe a taser or something, like a taser, or how do we do this? How do you stop that shift from occurring? Yeah, 'cause how can you tell if the shift's going to occur? That's the thing. Is like maybe we can start to, like in 1984 there was, or was it Brave New World? Was it pre-crime? Something called pre-crime, or was that Minority Report? I'm confusing everything, but something called pre-crime where like you can start to prevent crime before it even happens. Maybe we can do something similar with men and like penetration, like pre energy shift, you know, like pre energy shift. Like there's got to be something. Um, and we could just do away with penetration altogether. Could just do away with it altogether, I guess. Maybe that's the best course of action. Just do away with penetration altogether. Um, I don't know, because it's a real thing. It's a real thing. I mean, I definitely do think it's a real thing. The men just like switch. You're aroused. I know I do, man. I get super, super horny and just, start to really get into it, and almost like you become a completely different person. You know what I mean? And so, how do you stop that? How do you stop that? It's tough, man. It's tough. It's tough. Safe word? Yeah, safe words don't work though. Not if the man doesn't safe word. I mean, yeah. She doesn't talk about safe words here. Maybe just a safe word. Because if the man doesn't abide by your safe word, then clearly you're gonna be with him. That's your safe word. So he's gotta chill out. He's gotta stop when you say your safe word. So maybe safe words just fix this. Maybe that's why safe words exist. Is she just talking about the need for safe words? Maybe safe words fixes it. I'd be curious what she says about safe words. Can we do safe words work, or uh, I do have to pee though. I do have to pee. I do have to pee. I drank a beer last night. I drank a beer last night. I had a Guinness. The fucking banshee of in a Sharon got to me. Well, the banshees of Sharon got to me, so I did have a beer. It was enjoyable. I liked it. Good old Guinness, baby. Just one Guinness. Watching the World Cup match, Scotland versus Haiti. Not bad. Not bad at all. No gooning though. No gooning. No gooning. Um, maybe. All right, so I think we got the gist of her, huh? I think we got the gist of her. Drank 3 2 nights ago. Nice. Hell yeah. Um, we need some. I think we need some YV edit. We need some YV edit. That's what I need. I don't know about you guys.
The following video was
YV edit just hits the spot, you know. Just
inspired by this quote from Ben McKenzie. If you're like me, you probably remember him from the OC. He was recently giving an interview.
She just makes me smile.
And they asked him about his best investment, and this is what he said. You're going to think this is cheesy, but it's my relationship with my wife. It is so hard in life to do it on your own. I'm just deeply grateful for meeting her and for her being brave enough, foolish enough to marry me. The best investment by far. And for some reason, I forgot to include that in my commentary, so I wanted to put it ahead of the video. Anyways, enjoy the rest and remember to like and follow for more. My hot take that I didn't realize was a hot take because I was like accidentally just raised in this kind of environment is that the only truly good cis hetero relationships are female centered. That's right, female centered, not equal, not 50-50, certainly not male centered. But I recently watched a video of this woman describing her relationship with her husband as like the hag and the henchman. And I really feel like that is unironically the only type of relationship to aspire towards. Like happy wife, happy life, unironically. That's really all there is to it. And we could obviously sit here for hours and discuss all the like sociological, psychological, patriarchal reasons that that is like the case. But one of the biggest reasons as to why this works and as to why this is typically the best setup, or at least it's the setup that results in the most kind of like physically safe type of environment, is because a man who is drawn to the qualities of a woman that other men would say makes him a simp, that's a man who's not afraid of viewing a woman as an equal. And a man who's not afraid of viewing a woman as an equal will quickly realize that she's probably a superior. Like she's not even equal, but a lot of men have these blinders on that prevent that.
I think Wyvietta is superior. She's superior to all of us. She's superior to me by far. I look up to Wyvietta. So I must be one of these guys.
Them from seeing a woman's like humanity, equality, all of that to begin with. So the men that are willing to like simp for you, the men that are like unironically happy wife, happy life, the men that are like I'll be the henchman to your hag, etc. Those are the men that can see women's not only competence, not only humanity, but also their socialized superiority. And those men are actually wise to know what they don't know, to realize what they don't know, to realize the skills that they lack, because they can see a woman carrying out those skills and be like, I couldn't do that. I couldn't do that very easily. Oh, I don't think like that. Oh, I don't move like that. I don't have this like multi-step system in my mind for every single task, for every single thought process. Like I'm kind of out here flying by the seat of my pants. I need to redirect my course and understand that if we have any chance, like it's going to be because of this woman. I need to change course real quick and get aligned with whatever wisdom this woman possesses. And not only that, but a lot of times these men can also subsequently start to see the folly of the patriarchy. Like when they have respect for how a woman moves, thinks, handles situations, all of that, when they have respect for the fact that most women are trained into radical responsibility and extreme self-awareness and extreme like situational awareness, all of that, once men can clearly see that that's what women have going on, a lot of them are like, let me invest in her because everything that she's going to do to invest in me is going to benefit just me. But everything I do to invest in her is going to benefit not just her, but it's going to benefit me. It's going to benefit the kids. It's going to benefit the world because women move differently than men. Women have a different ecosystem. Women have had a different upbringing. And a man.
So when you invest in a woman, you're actually investing in yourself, your kids, your family, everyone around you. When a woman invests in you, it's only benefiting you. To everybody else's detriment, maybe? I don't know if she's saying detriment, but it doesn't benefit anybody else. So if it benefits you while it doesn't benefit anybody else, then I guess that could be a detriment, right? Because you're benefiting while other people aren't. So like you're moving up while other people are staying still. So eventually there's a growing like gap there, a growing disparity. I see what you mean. No, definitely. Yeah, for
And who
sure.
can recognize the damage that his patriarchal privilege has done to him, he's going to be woman oriented. The takeaways that women have from the patriarchy are a lot better than the takeaways that men have from the patriarchy. The patriarchy affects women in a way that makes them more shrewd, that makes them wiser. It makes them more resilient, makes them like less likely to break under pressure. Whereas the way that the patriarchy affects men makes them the exact opposite of that. They're very easily broken under pressure. They're very impulsive. They have poor self-control. They lack oftentimes critical thinking skills. And that's why any relationship that relies on centering a man or letting a man lead, right? Those relationships typically go straight off a cliff. And if they're not going off a cliff, it's because the wife is intervening and interfering without receiving any credit. The wife is sort of like subsidizing a lot of that behind the scenes, and the results that are coming out are mostly still affected by the wife. So the husband has all of these ideas and he's leading and he's delegating and he's like uprooting things and moving things without any regard, and then the wife is sort of behind the scenes cleaning up the mess. This explains perfectly why a lot of men feel the need to remarry almost immediately after their marriage ends due to like a death or due to divorce or due to cheating, whatever. They feel the need to move on almost immediately because in their mind, they know that they need to be led by a woman. And a lot of them will sort of practically trap women into leading them. They will make enough bad decisions to where the woman has to take over. And that's how most women are sort of leading behind closed doors. It's like the husband is the head, but the wife is the neck, blah, blah, blah. It's all.
Sounds like men are just completely. I mean, dude, we fucking fucking suck, bro. Why do you even? My question to her is like, why do you guys even want to fuck with us? Like, aren't we kind of just like, we're just kind of holding you back, I guess. Seems like we only just make things worse. Do we bring anything to the table? Do we bring anything to? Is there any? I mean, is there anything that we can do that you guys can't? I don't think so. It doesn't sound like it. Sounds like you guys are just better than us at everything. Why even bother with us? You know? Why even bother with us? Just do away with us, man. Just do away with us. I mean, this sounds like a dude's just completely. I mean, dude, we have no clue, bro. We're just every decision we make is the wrong one. We're just completely fucking up all the time. A woman stepping in to save our lives from completely crumbling, falling apart. I mean, why would you even want to be with us? You know? That sounds brutal. That sounds like a hassle. It just sounds annoying. It's like we're children. Like we can't help ourselves. Why even mess it? Like, why even mess with us, bro? Like, we're garbage. We're garbage. I'm starting to see what they mean, man. Maybe we should just get rid of men, dude. I don't know. I don't know. You know, get rid of them like I don't mean like actually get rid of them, but maybe we should like I don't know. Maybe we just all work at Burger King or something. Women can take over like all the important jobs and stuff. We work at Burger King and we'll be like infantry and stuff. Maybe we just work at Burger King and we'll be infantry, you know? Burger King and infantry. And then women can basically well, we're gonna have to do the mining and stuff. The mining and like the telephone pole work and probably most of the cab drivers. Um, oil rigs, and stuff. Um, yeah, infantry for sure, and Burger King, McDonald's, yeah, 7-Eleven, 7-Eleven, and yeah, I think women can basically take it from there. Construction, maybe. Women probably build better than us. I don't know what purpose we really serve. Maybe we're just kind of the grunts of society, and then women can kind of take over all the managerial decision making, leadership sort of roles, and yeah, doesn't sound too bad actually.
All basically still an acknowledgement that women are the better leaders. And men are lucky if they can sort of hitch their wagon to that. But those partnerships, those marriages are typically not happy. There's a level of tension, there's a level of resentment, there's a level of unacknowledged wrongdoing and unacknowledged neglect and pride and ego and hubris and all of that, which is why I'm genuinely talking about happiness and what's worth having. I'm not talking about what practically works. Both of them practically work. Whereas again, when we talk about a good relationship where people are communicating, where things are getting done, where there is a
Well, practically works. I mean, it depends on what you mean by practically works. What do you mean by work? I mean, if you just mean like we're together, pretty much any sort of relationship works then. People can be together, but I wouldn't say practically works is just like, oh, we exist with each other and we live in the same household. And that's it. I'm not saying anything else. We live with each other. We exist in the same household. It works. Okay. Yeah, but do you guys like have sex or no, no. We live in the same household. We're together. Okay. Yeah, but does she like ever suck your dick or anything? Like, hey, we live in the same household. We're together, aren't we? We show up to trivia together, don't we? Yeah, but you guys are kind of always like arguing and stuff. And like, hey, we're together though. Everyone fights. Yeah, but you guys fight like a lot. Like you guys are just always fighting like at trivia. It's like we're together. It works. Okay. Okay. Like, yes. Yes. Is that working? I would say if a relationship works, when people say, does this relationship work? Most people are thinking, is this relationship nurturing? Is it mutually beneficial? Both parties enjoying this? Are they having sex regularly? Are they enjoying the sex that they have regularly? I would say that's kind of the definition of working. We're moving forward. Things are getting better. Yeah.
Mutual love, respect, sense of fun, sense of ease, sense of like we're both growing and thriving together. This is a safe place for children. This is a safe place for community, for family members, etc. Those relationships are female centered. Those are the relationships where the woman tells the man what to do and the man is happy that that's happening. Those are the relationships where a woman.
Damn, try to picture that, huh? A woman tells me what to do and I do it, and I'm happy doing it. Tell you what. Doesn't sound too bad, huh? Doesn't sound too bad. Never have to make decisions again. Never have to make decisions again. Never have to make decisions again. Doesn't sound too bad. How does the bedroom dynamic work? You tell me what to do all day and I do it. And then once it's time to get down and dirty and intimate, what's going on there? Still telling me what to do. Still telling me what to do. You still telling me what to do? Do you want me to take the lead, or how about you take the lead during? Maybe she can take the lead during sex too. Just kind of ride me, just use me. Yeah. I'm not talking about her. I'm talking about a imaginary hypothetical woman. Doesn't sound too bad. Not too bad. You don't have to make decisions. Doesn't sound too bad. You don't have to lead. Doesn't sound too bad. Genuinely. Doesn't sound too bad.
And starts doing something and her husband is like, how can I be part of this? How can I help? How can I join? Or would I just be in the way? And he lets her tell him the answer. And at the end of the day, these are the type of relationships where eventually men are benefiting from it to the point that they have good critical thinking skills, that they become better employees, that they become better employers, they become better bosses, they become better subordinates.
Do we ever become better than you guys, though, at this stuff? No. Right? You guys are always like a few steps ahead, right? We become better, but we'll never become better at a woman at these things. We'll become better than other men, sure, but never better than a woman at these things. Never better a boss than a woman. Never a better subordinate than a woman. What? 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 Never a better subordinate than a woman? Wait, so you guys are better subordinates than us? Wait. Wait. You guys are better subordinates than us. What? Wait. How does that work? No, wait. Here, I got it. We become better bosses, but never better bosses than women. Better leaders, but never better leaders than women. We become better subordinates than all women. Women will never be better subordinates than us. I got it. I fixed it. That's what she was trying to say, and it's okay. I got you, girl. I got you.
Subordinates, they become better leaders, they become better followers. Like everything, whatever they do is like they can read the room, they can know their place. And guess what? Everybody loves them for it. Men like this will find it very easy to be likable, be thought of as somebody who's like.
That's what I want. I want a whole room to like me. That's what I think about. I want to be thought of as somebody who's like cool. That's what I want. That's what I think about. I want to be somebody who's likable. What did she say? Men like this
Be
will find it.
likable, be thought of as
Somebody
somebody
who's
who's like cool to
cool
be friends with.
to be friends with. Yeah, that's what I want.
They'll find themselves like being really, really valuable. And
Yeah.
part of that is because a lot of other men do not know how to read their room. A lot of other men are
No.
being coddled and subsidized by not only the patriarchy, but also by.
Hey, you had a great idea, man. This was a great idea. These women are fantastic. You're a genius. I'm glad you came into my life, man. Okay. Yeah, okay. I'll keep watching. I'll shut up. Jesus.
By their wife at home, who doesn't straight up tell him that's a stupid fucking idea because she wouldn't be safe to do so. He's being coddled by his wife at home, who just lets him make some stupid decision and then handles all the fallout and then explains it to the kids and like does all that emotional labor. This man's life is typically subsidized even by other women because the wife then has to call and belabor other women with, he did this again, and like, what do I do? And I'm so annoyed and blah, blah, blah. Those are relationships where men tend to.
Yeah, that's interesting. So like, a dude who like does things that his girl doesn't like, right? If she complains to other women about his behaviors, it's like, he did this, he keeps doing this, and I can't believe he did this, and he left the fucking dog's food out the other day, and like he didn't take the trash out, or it dripped on the floor, blah blah. He didn't see it, blah blah. It's now a burden on other women. He is a burden on other women because he's doing the things that she is complaining about to these women, right? So now it's he is the burden on these other women that are hearing about this. It's not her that's burdening these other women by telling them. You get me? You get me? You guys really have to think about everything that you do that pisses a woman off that you're with, or even maybe you aren't with. But if she complains about you to other women, you are now burdening these other women. You don't think about that. You don't think about that when you're making decisions at work, right? You're not thinking about, oh, how does my female coworker, what if she complains about my activities or my behaviors to my other female coworkers? You're not thinking about that because you're selfish and you're stupid and you're brain dead. You're brainless. Ain't that right, Wilson? Can I get an amen? Yeah. You just don't think about that because you're a man and you just don't think about these things. So interesting. Yeah, so it's you always have to think about your behaviors, because if a woman ever complains or relays your behaviors or your actions to other women, right? Then you are now burdening these other women. It's not the woman who's telling them. It's not the woman who's relaying this information. It's not the woman who's gossiping about you or has a problem with all these things, right? It's not her that's burdening these women. It's you. Understand me? You need to listen. You need to listen. These are the divine women of YouTube, okay?
To deteriorate further. They're not growing. They're not being pushed to their fullest potential because they don't realize that their fullest potential exists outside of them, and it looks like what their wife is doing. They think that their fullest potential is to be in charge, to be worshipped.
Your fullest potential? Your fullest potential is what someone else can do, and not just what a man can do, what another person can do. No, what a woman can do. That is your fullest potential. Your fullest potential will never be something that you yourself realize. It will be something that a woman, a different being from you, realizes. That will be your fullest potential. It will be something that another female is doing. You understand? Man, I love me some YV Edit. I love me some YV Edit. You guys have no idea how much I love YV Edit's content. It is like, it's peak, bro. Peak. It's absolutely like pristine, bro. I've never watched anything like it. It's like, chef's kiss. Chef's kiss, man. I could watch her all day, man. She's got great stuff. Great stuff.
And to be deferred to. Whereas the really intelligent men will come to realize that they are being crippled by the
Do you want to hear that again? We should probably hear that again.
their wife is doing. They think that their fullest potential is pushed to their fullest potential because they don't realize that their fullest potential exists outside of them and it looks like what their wife is doing. They think that their fullest potential is to be in charge, to be worshipped, and to be deferred to. Whereas the really intelligent men will come to realize that they are being crippled by the patriarchy. They are being slowed down by this idea of your ego has to be indestructible. And they're actually on the path of destruction. They're on the path of a zero-sum game. They're on the path of a race to the bottom rather than being on the path of challenge, growth, resilience, commitment, learning, improving, etc. And therefore, those relationships just can't be good. It's the equivalent of something rotting and deteriorating, and another person just spraying Febreze in the area and telling everybody that nothing's wrong and like everything's fine and nothing stinks and nothing's rotten and it's all good. Meanwhile, like the house is filling up with stench. Meanwhile, the floor underneath the rotting thing is also starting to rot. That's how it feels to watch women subsidize men's like standing in the world. That's how it feels watching women time after time let
We're a rot, basically. She's comparing us, or comparing us to rot. Basically, that's the metaphor or analogy or whatever. We are rot, and women are trying to spray Febreze. I mean, you would think that women would have a better. I mean, for as capable as women are, that we've learned in this video, for as good of like leaders and problem solvers and nuanced thinkers that they are, you would think that they would be able to, get rid of the rot. They wouldn't spray just Febreze. They would, obviously get rid of the thing and just, kind of throw it out or you know what I mean? They would have a better solution than to just spray Febreze and be like, no, it smells good in here, And everybody's like, no, it doesn't. Because women would be the ones that would solve the rot here in this analogy. So you would think that they would have a better solution than that. I'm sure they do. I'm sure she's probably just saying it wrong. I'm sure she knows. She knows. I don't want to like put words in her mouth, but women wouldn't spray Febreze. It sounds like that's what she's saying, but it's not what she's saying. They would know how to deal with the rot, for as capable as they are. Because a person, if there's something rotting in a room and somebody just like sprays Febreze and it's like, oh, it's all good, you wouldn't think that person is very like capable, like they wouldn't really know what they're doing, and obviously, women know what they're doing. All right. All right, so that's some YV edit there. What I learned as a serial dater, some Yumiverse.
Hey chat, so I wanted to make this video to touch on dating as a subject in general because I feel like whenever I post videos about dating, people are like, "Well, how could you possibly know? You're a female." And I'm like,
They talk so fast, man. They talk so fast. They talk fast. It's probably because they think faster than us. They talk faster because they think faster. So.
okay, but I guess I just wanted to make this video to talk about my experiences in dating, what they've been like, and what I've learned as a serial dater. Because before I started posting content, around what is it, like 9 months ago, I was a serial dater. Like I did not have a single second where I wasn't in love with someone. Like it, and whether that be like a relationship or like a situationship in which like I was like idealizing them in my head, so I had something to work towards and a reason to better myself, which is very toxic, I know. But this is a no judgment zone. Like I was basically in like relationship after relationship after situationship after relationship after situationship. Like it was perpetual. And so I wanted to make this video to kind of touch on what I learned from those experiences as a serial dater. And I want to start with this one relationship that I think I learned the most from. So my first relationship, this isn't the one that I actually learned from. I didn't learn shit from this one. What happened when I was 17 years old. It was 3 months, and it was a heartbreaking 3 months because that was a relationship that shattered the hopeless romantic in me. I was like, oh my god, love isn't even fucking real. Like that relationship ending, genuinely, that was my Roman Empire. It was my canon event. I literally, it ruined my fucking life. Fuck that guy. Anyways, after that, I became kind of jaded, and so but I became like a better dater because like you can't date every single, okay, you can't go into.
She got a lot of jewelry on. Look at this. 1, 2, 3. There's 2 bracelets. Like 2. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 bracelets. A ring. Another one. Another one on the thumb. Is that 3? 1, 2. One looks like 1, 3, 4. It's gotta be uncomfortable. I think she has 7 rings on. 7 rings, 6 bracelets. It's a lot of jewelry, huh?
To the first date with every single person thinking like, oh my god, this person's the love of my life. That's just not healthy. And so I actually think it made me better at dating because it made me like a little bit more rational. But actually the next relationship was like completely irrational. So maybe I spoke too soon because I was actually stupid. I was okay, you know what? Anything I did before 21, I was pretty fucking dumb. I'm gonna be honest. I just like, my frontal lobe was just like 0% loading. I had like maybe 2 HP in me. I was like partying all the time. I don't fucking know. Okay. So when I was 18, I get into like my canon event relationship. And basically the way that it starts is when I was 18, that was when COVID had like just ended. So like my freshman year of college, like that was like the COVID year for everyone. Like that was like my senior year, like prom gets canceled, whatever the fuck. And then my freshman year of college is like everyone's recovering post COVID, right? So I had spent 6 months alone with my family. And so I got on, I think it was Tinder at the time. Hinge didn't even exist, guys. I'm old. Hinge didn't exist at this time. Like I got on like Tinder or Bumble, and I start seeing this guy, right? And basically we're in like a situationship, and he's like, I'm like, are we gonna date? And he's like, no. And I'm like, why not? Like which like now I'd be like, okay, bye. But then I was like, why not? And so like I relentlessly pursue this man for like 4 or 5 months, and I don't for a second take a minute to take a step back and be like, are we compatible? Because I'm not Christian, like I'm not religious, and I'm also not conservative. And this man was both very religious and also very conservative. Like he was the type of religious where we were in college and he's going to church on Sunday type of religious, right? Which is like kind of odd because like I feel like he didn't really act in a manner that was very religious. Like he wasn't like, I don't know, he wasn't like buying food for homeless people or like, I don't know, like stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? Like he wasn't like a Christian in practice. He was just like, oh, you know, I go to church, so everything else kind of cancels out type of Christian, right? And so I don't know, basically I chase him down relentlessly for like 5 months, and he's like, fine, I'll date you. And then when we start dating, he's like, oh, I actually made you do all of that to make sure that you actually were devoted to me and wanted to be with me. And which was kind of weird because I was like, bro, like why'd you make me do all that? Like that's kind of crazy. That's kind of crazy of you. Anyways, literally 1 month into that relationship, after like 5 months of relentlessly pursuing him, I'm like, damn, I don't even like this guy that much for real. And we weren't even compatible for real. And also he would try to drag me to church on Sundays, which like bro, like, I'm sorry, but I don't want to go to. The only reason I'm here is to eat the little Jesus crackers and eat the little shot glass of grape juice that they're trying to LARP as wine. Like, that is the only reason I'm here.
They only do that like once a month, right? Communion?
I don't believe in this shit. Like, we'd go and we'd watch a pastor be like, you know what, like, I took a shit yesterday and I realized that, like, we are all the shits of Jesus Christ. Like, or some dumb shit like that. Like, they basically take some, like, they'd be like, you know what, I had this moment this week and I realized that, you know, Jesus. And like that would be the shit that we would like that I had to wake up hungover on a Sunday at 9 a.m. for. Like, okay, whatever. Anyways, so we actually ended up breaking up because we got into an argument about Kyle Rittenhouse where I was like, why the fuck was he 17 in there and why did his weird mom drive him to that shit? And then he'd be like, oh,
Kyle
well, like
Rittenhouse.
it was in self-defense. And I'd be like, bro, I'm not even saying it wasn't in self-defense. Like, all I'm saying is why was he there to begin with? Like, why did his mom drive him there? Like, across straight lines with the fucking gun. Anyways, we ended up
Guys
breaking
broke up over
and
that?
I actually learned a lot from that relationship
Wow.
because I learned that sometimes you just like to chase more than you actually like the person. And like, and really, now anytime I'm entering any romantic situation ever, I really take a minute to like step back and think to myself, like, are we actually compatible? Or am I just, you know, am I just being, is it just like an ego thing? Because I feel like if you like somebody, if you're chasing somebody, and you know that they want something different from you and you just can't accept it, I do feel like it is an ego thing. It's like you're like a why, what's so wrong with me that you don't want to be with me? It's not like a oh, we're genuinely compatible and this person's actually the perfect person for me. Like, it's rarely ever that. And so I really learned that important lesson from that relationship. Anyways, okay.
Wait, what?
It's like an ego thing. God, anyways, we ended up breaking up and I actually learned a lot from that relationship because I learned that sometimes you just like to chase more than you actually like the person. And like, and really, now anytime I'm entering any romantic situation ever, I really take a minute to like step back and think to myself, like, are we actually compatible? Or am I just, am I just being, is it just like an ego thing? Because I feel like if you like
Ego
somebody,
thing.
if you're chasing somebody, and you know that they want something different from you and you just can't accept it, I do feel like it is an ego thing. It's like you're like a why, what's so wrong with me that you don't want to be with me? It's not like a oh, we're genuinely compatible and this person's actually the perfect person for me. Like, it's rarely ever that. And so I really learned that important lesson from that relationship. Anyways, okay. um Let me think. I think I dated a little bit like between this and the
I tried to understand that. You know, all you can do is try to understand these women. They talk so fast.
next relationship because there was a small period where I was interning in Nashville, Tennessee. And so I had like a situationship or two while I was interning in Nashville, Tennessee. And then after that, I got into another relationship for a year and a half. This was like probably junior to senior year of college, and then like the first month that I moved cities and started working, and then I dumped him because it became weirdly codependent to the point where like we would be like talking to each other 24 fucking 7. Like, we were either hanging out 24/7, or if we were apart we were on the phone 24/7, or we were texting 24/7. And like he'd text me be like, hey, hi baby, I miss you, what are you doing? It would have been like 1 hour and I'd be like, oh, like, I don't know,
Gross.
I'm like farting and taking a shit, and he'd be like, oh my god, good luck.
Nice.
And like that would be the relationship, and I'd be like, whoa, like
That's
I can get a
wild.
second alone. And it also felt like he was great. He was great. This is probably my best relationship so far. But
Great.
my thing is, it became codependent to the point where it was like suffocating, where like I couldn't get like a second alone, and I couldn't even go to the gym and like take a nap without him being like, where were you? And like, what were you doing? And I'd be like, whoa, like that's kind of a lot.
I'm going to the gym. 1 hour later. Where are you? I'm at the gym. Okay, good luck. An hour later. Where are you? I'm at the gym. Still? Yeah. Okay, good luck. Love you. Yeah, I love you too. 30 minutes later. Where are you? I'm on my way back from the gym. Okay, love you. Drive safe.
Like, maybe let's not do that. Maybe let's not. Okay, like it was very codependent, and I can't do codependency because I need alone time. I need to sometimes have time to like go to the gym, goon, relax, take some time off, do some shit. Like,
Sure.
I need alone time.
Sure. Sure, I can relate.
And that it wasn't giving that. And so basically, I ended that relationship as well. This is making me
She says, I need some time to go to the gym. Coon, relax. Hilarious.
sound really bad. I swear to God, I don't just end. Okay, I will say, in terms of courtesy, I do like to end a relationship after like the 1 year mark if I don't see a future, because I don't want to waste this person's time. Like, if I don't see a future, I don't see why I should just string them along.
What do you mean? I mean, dumping a person after a year, I mean, you've already wasted a year of their life, so what's another one? It's not like, oh, I'm going to dump this person after a year if I don't see a future. That way I don't waste their time. It's like, well, no, you've already wasted their time. Already wasted a year. So,
Because it's convenient for me, right? Because like, if you're
or what's really a waste of time? You know, what's really a waste of time? Is there anything that's a waste of time? Is there anything that's a waste of time? Come on. How do you define a waste of time? Waste is subjective. You could say what I'm doing right now is a waste of time.
in a relationship, right? And maybe this is just my experience. I feel like this is probably just my experience, but like, I've always benefited more from being in a relationship than I have like loss. I don't know. The only thing I'm losing is time, and time is very valuable, albeit, but like being in a relationship is very good for me. Like, I usually get into a pretty good flow state, except for the fact that I get fat and chopped and I hate myself. But you know, besides that, mentally being in a relationship is very good for me, because you have somebody who like genuinely cares about you, and like you have human affection, and you have this like ongoing human relationship, and that's really nice. And so like, you know, I feel like this is making me seem like a very bad person, but I do just end the relationship after a year if I don't see a future, because like, if I see some like fundamental incompatibilities, I'm not just gonna string this person along and be like, you know, like, you're helping me move, so like maybe I should just date you for 3 more months. Like, no, I'm not gonna do that. I'll be like, fuck it, I'll pay for the U-Haul, and like I'll break up with this person now so they can actually find the person that's meant for them. I feel like that's a pretty polite thing to do. I don't know. Anyways, so let me digress. So
Yeah, you're a saint.
I start working, and you know, I dump my ex, and basically I've been in the city that I started working in, this city that I live in now. I'm not going to disclose because some of you all are crazy and weird and you might try to dox me, and so I'm not going to do that. But I've been living here for almost 2 years now, probably like 1.5 years, and dating's honestly been pretty good. Like, dating is not hard for me, and I know there are going to be people in the comments who are like, how dare you make this video just to flex on us, and I get it, but I really just wanted to openly talk about my experiences on what it's like to date as a woman. And I'm gonna be honest, it's pretty damn easy. Like, it's not that hard. And I will say, this varies.
Oh yeah,
It
good for
probably
you.
changes depending on like how old you are, and like, I don't know, like your physical appearance. And I'm not gonna sit here and act like I'm the hottest person in the fucking world. Like, I know that that's not true, you know. But like, but I will say, like, if you're in good shape and like semi attractive, and like and you are, I don't know, under the age of like 27, it's not that hard. I'm not saying that 27 is the cutoff and like you're completely cooked after that, but I'm saying like, I have friends who are older and it is a little bit harder for them to date just because they're looking for something a little bit more serious. And also, I think that they just like don't really know that there is a game and you have to play it in a certain way, right? Like, I feel like communication isn't what it used to be, right? Like, I think back in the good old days, communication was like, oh, how was your day? And you give somebody a rundown of your day. But like, nowadays, if you do that, you're low-key getting cooked, because they're gonna be like, why the fuck did you send me a paragraph about your day? And fucking ask, bitch. Like, you get what I'm saying? And so like,
Yeah, they ask, how's your day? You say good. If you say more than good, you're cooked. Fucked. How's your day? Good. Yeah. Yeah, you know, when phones first came on the scene, when texting first came on the scene, it was all the rage. People treated text like email. People writing all this fucking stuff. And then after about 20 years, we all just got tired of it. We're all just like, I can't text people anymore. Literally, like, people just don't text anymore, bro. Like, people, I think people are just done texting, like, to be honest. It's like, I really only text to like get shit. Like, I'll talk on the phone, or I will like text you to just be like, hey, I'll be here in 20 minutes, or hey, like, you know, are we good for this, or you know what I mean? Like it's just to like check on plans or whatever, or just confirm plans, or really to like meet in real life. But yeah, I don't really. The last thing I want to do is like text anything more than like a sentence to people. Like people are having full on like conversations, string conversations over text. You guys will find out. So you guys will find out one day.
Like there are certain things that you kind of have to do to play the game when you date a little bit, and I feel like it's harder for people to understand that whenever they're a little bit older, and then the dating marketplace kind of eats them up alive. I also will say, like, women usually want to date guys who are like, I don't know, around their age or older than them, and I feel like guys are willing to date infinitely young as possible, bro. Like I feel like guys are willing to, like, a 33-year-old dude, like, I could probably find 1,000 33-year-old dudes on Hinge right the fuck now as a 23-year-old. I feel like most 33
Hey, I'm 33. Why'd she say 33?
year old women aren't really willing to date a 23-year-old guy, and that's because, like, they want a guy who's like around the same level of them in terms of maturity, and also in terms of like you know, money, like finances, stuff like that, and like how established they are in their career. Anyways, yeah, dating's been pretty easy.
What if you like Mog and maturity, but you're like fucking subhuman in financial status? You know what I mean?
So basically, if you're a girl and you download a dating app, you'll probably get like 1,000 likes within a day. Like, I'm gonna be honest, like, it's really not that bad. And then you just go through the likes and you see and whatever. I think the hard
1,000?
part, maybe, I don't know, because like I haven't had much experience with this because I haven't been looking for a
1,000
relationship.
likes in a day, bro. 1,000 likes in a day. If I download a dating app right now, I'll get 0 likes in a day. 100%. I might get 1. And they're like obese women. You know what I mean? Dead ass. Dead ass, bro. Dead ass. 1,000 likes in a day. It's completely different. That's crazy. Just living in different worlds, huh?
But I heard it's really hard to like actually find a guy who's like wants to be in a relationship with you on the dating apps. See, I wouldn't know because I haven't been looking for one. So I don't know. But and also, like, I deleted apps for like a year, and so like I haven't really been on them for that long. But whenever I'm on them, I can usually get like 6 dates scheduled within like the first, like, I don't know, 1 or 2 days of being on them if I really try. Like, if I just sit on my phone and I actually respond to people, it's really easy to get actual dates set up. I feel like it's really not that hard. And so like I wanted
Good for you.
to kind of make this video to tell people and like tell them about my experiences, because I know that like a lot of people have to be curious about what dating is like as a woman. And honestly, like,
This is why if you approached her in a bar, she'd be like, you know, like, just not really. She has 1,000 other guys, you know, other likes that she can sift through each day. She said 1,000 on the first day. 1,000 likes in the first day, bro. 1,000 likes in the first day. Oh my God. Did she really say that? Can we go back?
and dating's honestly been pretty good. Like, dating is not hard for actually find the person that's meant for them. I feel like that's a pretty polite thing to do. I don't know. I've been in the city that I started working in, this city that I live in now. I'm not going to disclose because some of you all are crazy and weird and you might try to dox me, and so I'm not going to do that. But I've been living here for almost 2 years now, probably like a year and a half, and dating's honestly been pretty good. Like, dating is not hard for me. And
Not when you get 1,000 likes in a day, no.
and I know there are gonna be people in the comments who were like, "How dare you make this video just to flex on us?" And I'm like, I get it, but I really just wanted to openly talk about my experiences and what it's like to date as a woman. And I'm gonna be honest, it's pretty damn easy. Like, it's not that hard. And I will say this varies. It probably changes depending on like how old you are and, like, I don't know, like your physical appearance. And I'm not gonna sit here and act like I'm the hottest person in the fucking world. Like, I know that that's not true, you know. But like but I will say, like, if you're in good shape and like semi attractive and like and you are, I don't know, under the age of like 20, 27, it's not that hard. And I'm not saying that 27 is the cutoff and like you're completely cooked after that, but I'm saying like I have friends who are older and it is a little bit harder for them to date just because they're looking for something a little bit more serious. And also I think
I hate it when I rewind it, and I rewind it like a minute before like what I wanted to hear. I just wanted to hear her say how many likes she gets in a day.
that they just like don't really know that there is a game and you have to play it in a certain way, right? Like I feel like communication isn't what it used to be, right? Like I think back in the good old days,
Holy
communication
shit.
was like, oh, how was your day? And you give somebody a rundown of your day. But like nowadays, if you do that, you're low-key getting cooked because they're gonna be like, why the fuck did you send me a paragraph about your dad and fucking ask, bitch? Like, you get what I'm saying? And so like there are certain things that you kind of have to do to play the game when you date a little bit. And I feel like it's harder for people to understand that whenever they're a little bit older, and then the dating marketplace kind of eats them up alive. I also will say, like, women usually want to date guys who are like, I don't know,
Did I rewind it not far enough? Dude, I'm
around their age or older than them, and I feel like guys are willing to date infinitely young as possible, bro. Like I feel like guys are willing to, like, a 33-year-old dude, like I could probably find 1,000 33-year-old dudes on Hinge right the fuck now as a 23-year-old. I feel like most 33-year-old women aren't really willing to date a 23-year-old guy.
33-year-old dudes.
And that's
1,000 33-year-old dudes. That's why if you approach her and you're 33 in a bar, like she has 1,000 other guys that she can say you're competing with 1,000 other guys, bro. We're kicked. We're kicked.
because like they want a guy who's like around the same level of them in terms of maturity and also in terms of like you know, money, like finances, stuff like that, and like how established they are.
We're just peasants, bro. We're fucking peasants, dog. We're peasants, bro.
In their career. Anyways, yeah, dating's been pretty easy. So basically, if you're a girl and you download a dating app, you'll probably get like 1,000 likes within a day. Like I'm gonna be
She didn't even say if you're an attractive girl. She said if you're just a girl. If you're just a biological female and you download a dating app, you'll get 1,000 likes in a day. Which probably means that she's getting more than 1,000 likes in a day. A day, bro. Which means the second day you'll get another 1,000. And the second day you'll get another 1,000. That means you'll have 7,000 men to choose from in a week. Oh my God. Oh, that is just brutal. That is brutal.
be honest, like it's really not that bad. And then you just go through the likes and you
I literally get 0, bro. I might get 1 or 2. I might get 1 or 2. And they're usually, these women are not like, it's like, they got 3 pictures, you know, none of them show their body.
see and whatever. I think the hard part, maybe, I don't know, because like I haven't had much experience with this because I haven't been looking for a relationship, but I heard it's really hard to like actually find a guy who's like wants to be in a relationship with you on the dating apps. See, I wouldn't know because I haven't been looking for one, so I don't know. But and also like I deleted apps for like a year, and so like I haven't really been on them for that long, but whenever I'm on them, I can usually get like 6 dates scheduled within like the first, like, I don't know, 1 or 2 days of being on them if I really try. Like if I just sit on my phone and I actually respond to
6 dates, bro. 6 dates within the first 1 or 2 days, man. Holy shit. I'd be lucky if I can get 6 dates in a fucking year. A year.
people, it's really easy to get actual dates set up. I feel like it's really not that hard. And so like I wanted to kind of make this video to tell people and like tell them about my experiences, because I know that like a lot of people have to be curious about what dating is like as a woman. And honestly, like it's really easy. Like it's really not that bad. Like and I will say it's easier if you're a little bit more open-minded. I feel like if you have, the higher your standards are.
Hang on, Wilson. Hang on. Wilson, hang on. Wilson, hang on.
Obviously the harder it is to find people who meet them. Oh my god. But I feel like my standards are honestly pretty high.
Dude, what's up with like the I guess everybody just fucking hates me, bro. Like, nobody fucking donates. It's crazy, bro. Everyone just fucking hates me. It's crazy.
I want a guy who's who I'm attracted to, who goes to the gym, and who makes as much money as me. And those are my standards. And I feel like I've had a really great time dating with those standards. Like I feel like it's genuinely not been that bad. And I will say, like, I think if dating is hard, maybe your standards are a little bit too high, or and this is me talking to women, by the way. If dating is hard for you as a woman, like I feel like maybe your standards are just a little bit too high.
Why are you talking to women?
And
It's only
or
men who
maybe
watch your
you're just
channel.
like not responding enough. I don't know. Like I do feel like if you just download an app and you're open-minded, you're willing to talk to multiple people at once, right? Because you're not dating anyone seriously, so you should be willing to talk to like a few people at once. You can get into a relationship probably within like 1 or 2 months. Like I really feel like it's not that bad. Anyways, okay. If you're a guy, you need to change those fucking dating app pictures. Like I swear to God, if you're a guy and you're getting no matches, I do feel like it's the images, it's the prompts, it's something about your profile probably that you just like aren't aware of. And also take care of yourself, you know, shower every day, have a good haircut, please. You know, go to the gym and, you know, wear deodorant.
I feel like she's personally attacking me right now. I don't shower every day. I'm not gonna get a haircut. I sometimes wear deodorant, sometimes I don't. I'm just gonna grow everything out, bro. I don't give a fuck. I don't give a fuck, bro. Ugh.
I don't know, you know, like take care of yourself and learn how to dress. For
Care
God's
of
sakes,
yourself.
please learn how to dress.
Learn how to dress.
Invest in your appearance. And
What are we fucking gay? Am I fucking gay?
also invest in asking follow-up questions. Like please ask follow-up questions on dates. Anyways, that's the advice that I have for you, and those are my experiences in dating. So yeah.
Oh.
In Crime and Punishment by Fyodor Dostoevsky, the main character, Raskolnikov, can best be described as erratic and unstable. Throughout the novel, he is mentally tortured over his recent murder of a rich pawnbroker. His original...
Not into it. I just want to hear women talk. Netflix and chill isn't a date.
Hi everyone, hope you're doing well. It is extremely hot in New York right now. I think it's basically humid everywhere in the United States unless you got lucky. So please nobody say anything about how my hair looks because I don't know what's going on either, frankly. There's only so much I can do after a certain point in the day, and then I just have to accept defying gravity because I don't know. Anyway, this is a topic. Today's topic, Netflix and chill is not a date, okay? And I'll tell you what I mean by that in a second. This is a topic that I've been covering quite a bit on TikTok, and people have asked me to make a longer form video on it, and I knew that my audience here would appreciate it. So let's get right into it. Rolling around on the mattress is not a date. No, it isn't. No, it is not. And if you're listening right now and, you know, you can be a man, a woman, whatever, and you're thinking, well, I'm in a phase of my life right now where I'm, you know, I have like friends.
I just have one question. What the hell is this? What's going on here? What is this? This looks like a tent. This looks like she has a tent on a mattress. Right? This looks like a tent, bro.
Friends with benefits or I'm doing hookups or whatever. I'm not talking to you. Right? I'm not talking to you. I'm not hating on your lifestyle. I'm talking to people who are actively dating or looking to date. Dating, right? Relationship, not hookups, not friends with benefits, not one night stand, not whatever. Okay. I'm talking about dating. I'm talking about real relationships. Okay. So if you are looking to date, okay, so let's say, you know, obviously you guys know, I always say this, I speak, you know, basically to young women in my dating videos because I'm a young woman. However, my videos are for everybody. I definitely encourage young men to watch these as well because they could, you know, gain a female perspective. And I'm actually going to talk about some date ideas at the end of this video that could be useful to you as a young person specifically, and you'll see why. Okay, it's a...
She has some notes, I think. She looks like she has some notes. I gotta take a piss. I'm sorry. Gooning to Wilson now. Don't mind the meth tent in the back.
Financial thing, I'll talk about it later. Okay, so if you're dating, you're a young lady, you put a lot of effort into, your appearance, you have hobbies, you have a life, whatever, you have a lot to offer, because guys like to say that nowadays. They're like, well, what do you bring to the table? Okay, which personally, that's not a question I would even answer, but whatever. So I feel like, you should be able to tell after a few dates with somebody. I don't know.
What the fuck? No, I'm never gonna ask, what do you bring to the table? What the fuck? What? What do you bring to the table? Yo, if you ask that, you should just fucking jetpack yourself into the atmosphere, bro, and just fucking dip. What do you bring to the table? The whole point of dating is so you see what a person brings to the table. The whole point is to just ask questions, just get to know them, and you'll realize what they bring to the table. You don't ask, what do you bring to the table? Nobody's gonna ask you that. Nobody's gonna ask you that. Hey, what do you bring to the table? Holy shit. Are dudes actually, I don't think dudes are actually asking that. What do you bring to the table? No, they'll just realize. They'll just think about what, who you are and like what you bring to the table. Like they're not gonna ask you to like prove it or whatever. That's funny.
Being expected to present myself as if I don't know, like why am I trying to sell you on me? You either like me or you don't, right? So anyway, yeah, don't entertain that. That's for both men and women. If
Does she even know the ingredients to make bread? Jesus.
anyone ever asks you that, I don't like. I feel like that's kind of a ridiculous question. It should be self-explanatory once you get to know someone. Anyway, I got sidetracked. Onto the point. If you're a young lady, you take care of yourself, you're looking to enter the dating pool, you want to start dating seriously, you'd like a relationship, and you meet a guy who claims that he wants the same thing, but his first idea, or his only idea, God forbid it's his only idea, for a date is, let's binge watch this random slop series on Netflix, and maybe I'll be so graceful as to pick up a 6-pack or a few joints, and then you can come over and we can hang out.
This has definitely happened to her. Definitely happened to her. So she's speaking from experience.
So we all know what hanging out means, right? So that's not a date, and they love to do this. And I'm not talking about all guys, okay? I'm not, but it's just
I've done this. I've done this before. I've done this. In fact, what did I do? I think it was the second time. It wasn't the first time though. It happened in LA. I'm not so crazy where I'm like, yo, come over. Like let's hang out at my crib, like I'm not that crazy, but I have done that on I think it was like the second date with three different chicks when I was living in LA. I was kind of just trying to, the first day you just like take them out to like a restaurant or something. I don't think I paid for them though. I think they all paid for themselves. Yeah, I took them out. I think one we went and saw a movie maybe after. But yeah, Just went out to restaurants. They bought their own meal. I bought mine. And then second date, I think I just invited them over. Oh, yeah.
This specific subsect of young guys who do this, and I've encountered a lot of them. If you're female and you're watching this video and you're dating, you have too. Okay, where they do this, where they'll say, "Oh, let's do like a chill like movie date. Let's do like a house date. Let's just do like a cute apartment date." It's like, that's not a date though. That is not a date. And frankly, if you wanted an escort, then you should have paid one. Like, I don't know why you're playing in my phone like this, So, yeah, of course I have my book. Okay, you guys know I have to stay on track. I want to keep this one 20-25 minutes so I don't absolutely talk your ear off, all right? Because my points on this one are pretty concise. So here's my first point. If the guy you're talking to cannot come up with a free/low-cost date idea for the very first date, like that's his only idea, he for some reason does not have the creativity despite having all the knowledge in the world at his fingertips.
Wait, you guys make better decisions than us. Why Vieta was just telling us that you guys make better decisions than us. You guys are the better leaders. I'm so confused. Why Vieta was telling us that female-centered heterosexual relationships are the only ones that work, and a woman should be making the decisions, telling a man what to do, and he should just do it. And like, that's so I don't understand why. Why would you want us to come up with the first date? It's gonna be garbage. It's going to be garbage because we make poor decisions. So you should come up with the first date. You're a better decision maker. You're a woman. Am I missing something? You're a woman. You're a better decision maker than us. Huh? You're a better leader than us. Am I tripping, bro? You're a better leader. You're a better decision maker than us. What? You should be picking the spot. And we'll just follow along cuz it'll be a great spot. It'll be a great idea. Why do you want us to like make ideas? You know that we're idiots. You know that we're scum, we're good for nothing. Come on. You know that we need to like follow your lead, like you need to like show us like what to do. Like, what? No, you guys come up with the dates. Are you saying that you can't come up with a date? Like you can't like come up with a good idea or like what? This is your chance. This is your opportunity to show us how good of an idea you can come up with, how creative you are, how absolutely divine and creative and awesome and fantastic you are. That you can come up with such an original, just brilliant, great date idea. We'll just follow along and like the whole relationship will just go seamlessly if we follow your lead and you come up with all the ideas. Have you not watched any YV edit videos? Groovy rocker chick, you need to watch some YV edit. Because this isn't sounding like very feminist right now. I mean, feminism is all about empowering women to like make decisions. And not to think that like we can make decisions for you. Just assuming that we're the decision makers and the leaders and the date makers and the date creators. And the idea generators, you know what I mean? Like, no, it's like feminism is all about like you guys can come up with this stuff. Like you guys are brilliant. Brilliant. You know how many like mayors of cities you guys are? How many women are in Congress right now? How many chiefs of police you guys are? What? You don't think that they make decisions? They make decisions all day long. Come with brilliant ideas all day long. What are you talking about? She wants us to come up with a date idea. Do you want the idea to be poor? Do you want the idea to be poor? You come up with the ideas. You're a woman. You're a better thinker, decision maker.
Point. If the guy you're talking to cannot come up with a free/low cost date idea,
We can't, because we're stupid. We're just stupid worms. We don't know what we're doing. We're men. We're basically maggots. We don't know. That's why society sucks. It's because it's a patriarchy. And we don't know what the fuck we're doing. We need the women to save us. Save us. Save the world. Start coming up with our date ideas. We don't know. We're trash. All that we can come up with is come over to my apartment. We'll do some Netflix and chill. That's all we can think about. That's all we can think about is sex. Because we're baser creatures. I don't want to be misogynistic. I'm trying to be a feminist. Justin Homie since the $5. Damn. Thank you, man. Says a bit of a drag, isn't it, wanker? You can't sing, you bloody can't dance. Yeah. Women rule. Men drool. We drool. We're just dumb. Look at how dumb I am. You think I could come up with a date idea? Do you listen? Are you listening to me? I got like 2 thoughts in my head right now. One of them's I need to eat. I need a wank. It's I can't come up with a date idea. Again, well, you guys are better than us at things. Do you like feminism, bro? Have you ever heard of feminism? Hello? Feminism didn't fight for women to just not make decisions, okay? And not take the lead. That's not what feminism fought for. Hello?
for the very first date, like that's his only idea. He, for some reason, does not have the creativity despite having all the knowledge in the world at his fingertips on his electronic device that he is texting you on.
You have the same.
Okay. He somehow cannot find it within himself to come up with an idea that could work for both of you that would not immediately lead to him putting the moves on you. What do you think he's going to do the rest of this relationship, if there ever even is one? You know, because typically people like this, they're looking for one thing. Once they get it, they're out. So how is the rest of your time spent with this person going to look? Are you constantly going to be fending off going to, you know, his place and coming up with excuses, and then all of the weight is on your shoulders to constantly come up with things, which you can do, but it's nice if it's a mutual effort, right? You don't constantly want to be the one planning everything. That's not attractive, right? So
What do you mean? Mutual.
No party ever wants to plan everything all the time, right? Everybody likes surprises. Everybody likes to, you know, have the other person surprise them and say, oh, I thought we'd do this, you know, and you're like, oh, that's so cool. I didn't have to, you know, look all that up myself. That's nice, you know. So yeah, I would say honestly, if you know, he says this and you express your feelings, you're like, oh, I'm sorry, I'm not really comfortable with that. I don't do hookups. I'm not interested in that. And he pulls the, well, I'm out of ideas, or do you have any ideas? I would suggest that you not talk to him because clearly you're not compatible, right? And you're thinking, well, what if I suggest?
You're not compatible if he says, do you have any ideas? Isn't that what you guys want? You want us to be like, hey, do you have any ideas? I'm out of ideas. What do you think? Don't you guys, I thought that's what you guys wanted. You wanted us to be like, hey, what do you think? I don't know. What do you want to do? Isn't that the whole point? Don't you guys want that? Or do you guys just want us to, like, wait, maybe like we make the decisions when you want us to make the decisions? And then just don't when you don't? Maybe that's what they want. They want us to make the decisions when they want, like, when they want that. Right? And then they want us to stop making the decisions when they want to make the decisions instead. Basically, I guess basically it's just like you just kind of do what she tells you, basically. Like, hey, come up with a date idea. Okay. Yeah. And then if you can't, you're done. You're dusted. And then the next week when you're like, hey, I came up with this great date idea. Well, no, actually, I want to make the date. Okay. All right. Basically, you just do whatever they tell you. Just do whatever women tell you, basically.
Just ideas. Again, you can, but then you might be stuck in, you know, the hellish loop of you constantly having to pick out everything because he doesn't actually want to do anything other than roll around on the mattress. So, okay, so that's what I would suggest if you run into someone like this. And I'm not saying that people like this are evil, like guys like this are evil, but they're just not compatible with you because you're looking to date and they're looking to hook up, but they're for some reason using the word date. Okay, on to my next point. Oh yeah, because I made this video on TikTok and I had quite a few people, women, in the comments that were like, well, your mind is in the gutter. How do you know that's what he would try to do if you went over there? How do you know? How do I know that the sky is blue? What are you talking about? And there were a bunch of men on TikTok agreeing with me in the comments and being like, that's so true. Never do that because they only invite you over to try one thing. And it's like, well, obviously, yes. I don't know. Sometimes I really think some of you snuck onto Earth last week. Like, I have no idea. Like, why do I get interrogated about this? I suppose there's a 1 in a million chance that you could go over and he could just, I don't know, want to sit and like drink apple juice and play board games with you. That would be some real Pee Wee Herman shit, right? But most guys are not doing that. Okay, so let's use our brains. Okay, let's not do that. Let's not think like, I'm not saying you should never give anyone.
You got any apple juice? I'll bring Monopoly over. I mean, even that, bro. Yeah, let's have some apple juice. I'll bring a board game over. Like, even that's leading to sex, man. Nobody's playing a fucking board game, sipping apple juice. Come on.
The benefit of the doubt, but please use your brain. Please use your head. Please use more than the 10% that most people use on a daily basis, right?
Damn. Shots fired. Who are you so angry at?
And try to have
the guy
some
who did this to her.
Okay, if you think that something might go a certain way, it probably will. Please do not think of the 1 in a million chance. You know, it's like, Anyway, oh, that directly relates to my next point. That is, for young women, a very dangerous situation, okay? And I know that with hookup culture and stuff, people have just gotten really used to doing this. It is, no matter what you think, and well, I've known him and I've been talking to him for a couple months and I really think he's a good guy. I am just saying, statistically, it is not a good idea for you to go over to somebody's apartment or house. You don't really know him. Maybe you've been talking, maybe you think you're compatible, but do you really know someone? The answer is you almost never really know someone fully until you live with them, and even then people can have full double lives. Just accept that as a fact in life, okay? I'm not gonna tell you to live your life in fear, but be very cautious because you just really never know with people, okay? That's not a good idea. Like I said, you have to use your head. It's not a good idea to go over to essentially a stranger's house that you've only talked to online, okay? And well, we met up a couple times in person for what, 1 hour, 2 hours, 3 to 4 hours total, maybe? That's not a lot of time spent with, really? I've spent more time with certain employees around town, I think, at some of my summer jobs, just because I went there and bought stuff often. That's not a long time to spend with someone.
Cooked for real, for real, for real. Sends the something, South Korean $20 or whatever. Says, why is the photo shoot screen her bed frame? Someone says a tanning tent. Photo shoot screen. Is that what it is? Is that what this is? Photo shoot screen? Why is it on her bed? Yeah, why is it her bed frame? That's crazy. Photo shoot screen. It looks like a tent. I thought it was a tent. This looks like a tent, bro. But again, why is a tent on your bed? I mean, maybe she has issues with humidity or like mosquitoes or like bugs or something. Maybe it like keeps out the bugs or something. What could it be? Humidity. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know what the tent is. Protection makes her feel safe or something. I don't know. This looks like a tent though.
Right? Do not put yourself in a situation that could lead to you being harmed. Seriously, okay? And a lot of people don't take this seriously. They're like, well, we're young and he doesn't, why would he do anything? And why? Again, I'm not telling you to
Can't trust these guys, man. Can't trust these guys.
live your life in fear. I'm telling you to be careful. I'm telling you to make smart choices. Please do not do that. I don't see a lot of young women talk about this because, it's very much like a lot of women in their 30s do. And 30s is still young, but I mean, sorry, I should say 20s. I don't see a lot of women in their 20s talk about this because, of course, we're young and people just want to be carefree. They don't want to think about that stuff. But I am very serious. Like, no matter what you think you know about someone, erase it from your head, okay? And you have to treat them like they're a stranger until you are actually in an established relationship, because you don't want to take that chance. You really don't, okay? And I mean, and you can say, because I hear this a lot, well, my friends and my family, they all have my location. Well, so do mine, but what realistically are they going to do if something were to happen? How can you even ensure that you would get to your phone in that moment? Don't test it. It's really not worth gambling. Do not play with your life. I'm serious. Like,
buy a shotgun.
You see these horrible cases on the news where,
buy a shotgun and a shoulder sling. And you sling that bitch over your fucking shoulder. You carry that shotgun everywhere you go, girl.
Oh, it's a Tinder or Hinge or a Bumble date, and a girl goes
if he tries anything
over to the guy's place and is like never seen again. And I don't even want to describe some of the details because I don't want to be insensitive to actual cases that I've seen. And then, there are people in the comments like, oh, wow, like, I just don't know how she couldn't have known. There had to have been a sign. It's like, sometimes there isn't, though, is there?
Nope.
Sometimes there isn't, because it's like you don't know them.
Most of the time there isn't.
And if you're a young man watching this too, women can be killers too. Women can be murderers too. Okay, don't please remember the
sounds a little misogynistic.
We all got in kindergarten. All right.
That's a little misogynistic. I don't know about that.
To my next point. Yeah, my earlier comment with the escort thing, if you're looking to date, like I said, you have a life, you know, you're of healthy body and mind. Hopefully, you put effort into your appearance, you spend money on makeup, on your outfits, on your hair. You are going to want someone who's going to appreciate that and who's going to respect that. So the concept that a guy would see you and kind of get the picture of you and what you're looking for, and then his first reaction is, oh, okay, well, how about you just drive over to me, or you just take the train to me, or you just Uber to me, and then we'll just hang out for like 5 hours on my bed sheets that I haven't changed since like Thanksgiving 2023, and I'll put some weird movie on, and then I'll instantly try to do something physical.
When's the last time I changed my bed sheets? Maybe a month ago. It's probably time. Probably time. I know certain people, they change their bed sheets like every week or something. I'm not that crazy, but damn. 3 years ago? It'd be wild.
Perhaps 7.5 minutes into the movie. That is very, very disrespectful to you. That's very disrespectful. And that's why I'm actually not joking when I say that they should literally just hire an escort if that is what they want, right? I mean, why are you trying to, I don't know, act like this is some, you know, cool, really chill, like nonchalant date idea. Like it's not a date, and honestly, it's hardly even an idea. Okay, so let's just cut the bullshit there. That is disrespectful. You should take that as an insult if a guy says that to you, because it's like, okay, so you looked at me and the image of me, and for some reason, this is all that came to your mind, and this is all that you think I'm worth, and that is all that he thinks you're worth, okay? And that is why I recommend just kind of cutting contact and finding someone else who is better suited for you, okay? I'm really not the type of person to tell you that, like, well, why don't you just suggest things for a while, and why don't you try to gentle parent him, and why don't you... No, because, you know, there are girls who are looking for hookups, right? He should find someone like that, and you should find somebody who values you, okay? It's not... Do not try to change...
All right, we all get the picture. I'm bored. Just being a good wife. Why have you had it? Why have you had it?
One of my mutuals has been doing this incredible series on how she decentered her husband while she was married. And she's gone into like a lot of really great detail about what that looked like and like some of the things that they experienced like in the process of that. So let's watch some snippets of her video together, and then let's talk about it.
My process of decentering my husband and centering myself evolved over a couple of years, and it's still evolving, but it all began with one event that finally made me see not only how my life revolved around him, but how all my work and efforts were taken for granted, and it was never enough. It was literally like a curtain that had been over my eyes just fell in an instant. And when that happened, I did two things. I got really angry and I started doing the bare minimum. I'm going to tell you what the bare minimum looked like for me. But first, I want to address the anger because that part was really important. For about 3 to 4 months, I felt intense anger. And the important part is that I let myself feel it. I didn't bypass it. I didn't ignore it. I didn't sweep it under the rug. I didn't compartmentalize. Allowing myself to feel that anger for months is what pushed me to make changes. Had I bypassed or...
Looks like she has a pretty big house here. Look at that. Like this is one room. The middle is the living room. Huge skylight. And they have the kitchen way over there. Another huge skylight. Looks nice.
minimized it, I think I would have fallen back into the same patterns. During this time of intense anger, I did not verbalize any of it to him. I went through all of these thoughts and emotions without telling him, and I stopped doing almost all labor in our marriage without telling him. I just processed all the patterns and behavior that had been established.
Why don't you tell him? Why don't you bring up stuff? Seems a little passive aggressive, no? Seems a little passive aggressive. What about honesty? What about communication? Don't you guys always preach about communication? Where's the communication here? Huh? Where's the communication? Where's the openness? Where's the honesty? Where's the communication? Women, you guys are all about communication. Opening up. Being honest with each other. That's how we make relationships work. Not hearing much communication here. Just stopped doing everything. Didn't say anything. What? What's going on here?
Neighbor in our marriage without telling him. I just processed all the patterns and behavior that had been established throughout our relationship. So doing the bare minimum for me meant
Maybe she's getting to it.
I stopped initiating and tracking sex, and I stopped thinking about whether his needs were being met, something that had been my responsibility for the entire duration of our relationship. I stopped connecting with him regarding his emotions. I stopped asking how he was feeling. I stopped asking what's wrong when he was acting moody.
Dude, this guy probably was taken for an absolute whirl, bro. Just imagine your wife of like however many years just like completely stops doing everything, stops having sex, stops talking to you, stops opening up to you. Like this dude was probably just like, huh? What? Do you think maybe he thought she's being a bit passive aggressive right now? She's probably upset. Maybe she wants to tell me some things.
Stopped caring how he felt about anything, and this wasn't necessarily intentional.
Stop caring about how I felt about anything. Sounds healthy.
It was a consequence of me being so angry and so resentful that I didn't have space to give a damn how he felt. I stopped working to prove my value or my worth, all the little things.
So she's angry and resentful. She's angry and resentful. Women tell us that anger and resentment are not good, especially when men are angry and resentful. Not good. Not good. You should talk about it. Should work through it. Communicate it.
Things that I did that went unnoticed or unappreciated over the years, I stopped doing those things completely. I stopped communicating my feelings. Up until that point, I had always communicated my thoughts and feelings to him in an effort to maintain our close relationship, and I just stopped. I felt like he was no longer entitled to those deepest parts of me, and this is something that I have partially retained even now that we are in a much better place and I am centered on myself.
Why weren't you just honest with him about all these things? About your anger, about your resentment, about the fact that you were always giving him more than he was giving to you, and he was always just taking. Why don't you communicate those things?
I used to just pour out my thoughts and feelings with him, and part of centering myself now involves keeping much more of that for myself.
Centering yourself is not communicating to the other person about how you feel or how you think about things or your wants or needs or desires. A little strange. It would seem like centering yourself, if anything would be centering yourself, it would be communicating to the other person what you would like from them, how you're feeling, what the things you have a problem with that they're doing, the things that you want to work through. See, it seems like that would be centering yourself. The fact that centering yourself is not communicating how you feel and not talking to the other person and just completely clamming up, and I don't know. It seems like that's a weird way of centering yourself. So would decentering yourself be communicating in relationships? Being open and honest, is that decentering yourself? Decentering yourself. Should both people in a relationship center themselves? Should we both center ourselves? Does that mean we both just like stop communicating with each other and we just clam up and stop doing things for each other? Seems like maybe is that the way forward here?
I stopped putting effort into having deep, connective conversation. I went surface level because, again, I felt like I had given him access to the deepest, most special parts of me, and I no longer felt like he deserved that access.
Why not? What was he doing that made you feel like you didn't deserve that?
If and when we had an argument or a disagreement, I stopped approaching him to talk and resolve the issue. I had often been the one performing the labor of initiating makeup conversations, and I stopped. If he wanted resolution to something, he had to come to me because I was done doing that work. In the evenings, I stopped watching TV with him and I started watching the shows I wanted to watch on my.
So basically, what I'm getting is that women just start acting like us. They just start giving us a taste of our own medicine. That's their way to solve the issue, is just to start acting like us, acting like how we do. Basically, what I'm starting to get the idea of here is like women basically just emulate men. They basically just follow whatever we do and like basically just imitate us, mimic us, copy us. So whatever you're doing in a relationship, they're going to do that. You know, whatever you're doing in society, they're just going to do that. They really just want to be you. They really just want to be you. They want to be us. They want to emulate us. They want to. Imitation is the sincerest form of flattery, you know. I don't know. I mean, it's kind of weird. You're following a man's lead, like you're doing what he does. Why don't you blaze your own trail, girl? Why don't you blaze your own trail? You tell me your best solution to this issue that you have in your relationship is to do what a man does? Are you saying that we actually know what we're doing? Kind of imitating us? Wait, what?
iPad with headphones on. I stopped making his ideas, his wishes, and his preferences my responsibilities. I talk more about that in part 3 of this series. I stopped planning things for us to do together, and I stopped creating quality time together. I also stopped checking in with him about the little details of his day. When this watershed event happened,
I mean, I hope that this means the what she's no longer doing, you know, I think it's only fair that she's no longer doing these things if he's also no longer doing these, if he doesn't do any of these things. But if he's doing these things and you're just like, you know what, I'm not doing any of this, then I think maybe that's a little unfair.
and I actually set
But I don't know.
a reminder in my phone that popped up every morning at 7 a.m. that said, do the bare minimum.
Wow.
And that reminder popped up every day for 2.5 years.
Wow.
And in fact, I just changed it 2 weeks ago.
She had an alarm set for 7 a.m. every single day for 2 years that said, do the bare minimum. I think if any man was to say that he did this when in a relationship with a woman, I mean, I think people would think this dude is misogynistic as fuck, that this woman is in an abusive relationship. that this man doesn't value his woman at all. And if you set an alarm, heard a lot of crazy things, but to set an alarm every single day for 2 years that just says do the bare minimum. I mean, bro, that's pretty wild. Why don't you just, what's the point of even being in a relationship if you're just going to do the bare minimum? I don't understand. What is this? What is this? Why don't you just leave? Why don't you just like divorce him or whatever? If you're going to do the bare minimum, it sounds like you don't even want to be in this relationship. Why don't you just leave? You know you can get like half of his stuff, right? You guys got kids. You got the kids too, so you can make his life a living hell. What, do you have no leverage or what? What's going on here? You know that you benefit heavily from just separating, just like divorcing him. What? This makes no sense. 2 years, bro. This is some female shit, bro. After 1 week, maybe 2, of seeing that alarm that said do the bare minimum, I'd be like, this is gay. Like, what the hell am I doing? What the hell am I doing? By the way, he never saw that alarm. You never saw that alarm? I'd be worried that maybe you guys aren't sleeping in the same bed for these 2 years. What the hell is going on in this relationship? You're setting an alarm every day for 2 years that says do the bare minimum. You're no longer having sex with him. You're no longer talking to him. No longer doing things for him. No longer trying to make up anything, right? It sounds like you basically just completely checked out. And how, like, what is this? What is your aim with this? Like, what is your actual goal with this? Is this like a goal to, like mend this relationship? Is this how you mend it? Is this like some sort of weird way in which you're going to fix this and like fix him and like change him? I mean, you seem so angry. It's like, why would you even want to be in a relationship with this person? I mean, this seems like an anger that's just on a different level. It's like, why would you even want to mend this? Why would you even want to be with this person anymore for the rest of your life? Why don't you just leave? You just leave.
I spent these first few months in a sort of hibernation and checking out.
His woman's hibernating, bro. Imagine your woman just starts to hibernate. Like, where is she? She's under the bed, hibernating.
Gave me the space to see how I had been overfunctioning in centering him. And then I started therapy, and that's when I really started to unravel how centering him had impacted me in my life.
And when I tell you that what she's done in her marriage, this bare minimum conversation, this is why I'm very thankful I was not raised as a little girl in America, because the way y'all are socialized is honestly criminal. One thing I'll say is that in order to prevent this kind of marriage dynamic down the line, you need to start out with this. You need to be this way from the very beginning. And genuinely, like, if you don't have that kind of non-caring dog in you, just look at Slavic women, particularly the way that Slavic women date. And this is not me saying Slavic women are perfect, we do everything right, American women are dumb, blah, 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 blah. Slavic women never get taken advantage of. There are no problematic beliefs or behaviors in the Slavic community, okay? I know y'all are going to bean soup this in the comments, but please try not to. The things that I'm saying, I'm genuinely trying to be helpful, and I only have so much time to say it because y'all don't like the long videos. Y'all like the videos that are 10 to 20 minutes long. I'm trying to keep it in the...
I feel you. I feel you, wifey edit. I feel you on that, girl. I feel you on that. What's up with these people that just want the 10 to 20 minute videos? They don't have longer attention spans. Can I get an amen, girl? Can I get an amen? Yo. Crazy.
that bracket, I'm not going to be able
Sick
to
of it.
get to and address every single thing. Okay. Sometimes I say things and you just need to understand that I'm saying it as like a shorthand for something. Okay. I don't have time to sit here and break down all the ways in which Slavic
Yeah,
women
we
are
get
not
it.
the perfect,
Yeah, we get it.
example. What I'm saying in particular to look at and to practice is the way that you as an American woman have been brought up to expect the bare minimum from a man, but not to do the bare minimum yourself. And there are women in other countries
What?
that have sort of like been playing the game longer. and where the cultural standards and expectations sort of match the unfairness of the patriarchy. Okay. That's all I'm saying when I talk about Slavic women. Are a lot of Slavic women like fucking insecure, jealous pygmies? Absolutely 100%. Are a lot of Slavic women completely bought into like religion, patriarchy, all of that? Yes, they are. Okay. But when you look at the way that some Slavic women date versus American women, the biggest difference is in the amount of what you bring to the table. The biggest difference is that Slavic women are not shamed for bringing the bare minimum, especially to a dating relationship. Now, I think a lot of Slavic women, once they get married, they start doing too much. But if you look at how the dating dynamics function in a Slavic relationship versus like an American relationship, there's a lot of big differences, you know? American girls will be like, oh my gosh, my boyfriend is so sweet. He picked me up for a date and he paid for the whole bill. I had no choice but to give him a roadhead on the way home. A Slavic woman
Sounds nice.
will watch a man take her shopping, like swipe his credit card over and over and over. And this is how she's going to look at that man. And at the end of that whole day, he's going to drop her off at her house and she's going to walk in with all the shopping bags
And fuck another guy?
he's going to drive off. And he's going to continue to pursue her for as long as it takes and
Fuck a black
spending
guy?
all the money on her that it takes because he's not sure if she even likes him or not. And that's the way it should be. And that's how
That's how it should be? What? Is she advocating just like you just spend money, spend on them more and more and more until they have sex with you? Are you... Sounds like you're describing prostitution. High income prostitution? Sounds like what it is. Weird. Weird. Is that all you're worth? You're just worth like a certain amount of thousands of dollars? That's what you're saying women's puss is worth? 'Cause I think it's worth way more than that. I think you can't put a price on a woman's walls. She got them priceless walls. Can't put a price on walls, son. Can't be putting a price on these walls. I would hope that a woman gives up her walls for something different than just money. Just a credit card being swiped enough times for a certain dollar amount. I would hope you guys would give it up to maybe like something that has nothing to do with money, maybe. Something deeper, maybe. Material? Spiritual. Nah, it's probably nothing.
how you avoid this kind of like, I'm bringing everything to the table, like that kind of thing. That's how you avoid that mindset. Do not overly accommodate a man. Do not overly make excuses for a man. Do not be overly thankful. Do not be overly...
Just swipe that credit card, bitch. Just keep swiping it. Look at him like this. Take me home. Take me home. I'm gonna do some OnlyFans. You're not allowed in. Yes. Yes, of course. Right away. Hurry up, pig. Yes, of course. Yes, miss. Yes.
Swipe the credit card, miss, please. More? Would you like to swipe it more? Yes. Yes, of course. Right away. Yes.
Like flexible about things. If he can't show up at the time that he said he was going to show up, you don't go on the date. If he's being flaky, whatever, don't sit around and make excuses for him. Go about your own business. And remember, he's just
If he shows up a second late to that date, you're gone. Poof. Ghost him, bitch. Ghost him.
just one guy and the world is full of them. Like,
All of
it
them.
really doesn't
All
matter.
of
You
them.
do not need to get hung up on him
Nope.
because that is going to be the pattern that you end up in for the rest of your life. Like, a man who lets you get hung up
Preach,
on him
girl.
is a
Preach,
man who
girl.
doesn't care about you in the first place. Like, a man who's willing to conduct himself in such a way that you're always wondering, you're always making excuses, you're always accommodating. That's not a man who even like base level likes you in the first place. Do not overly praise effort because that should be happening regardless. If a man wants to marry you and he wants you to have his children someday, he better get used to putting in a lot of effort all the time, every single day, because that's what you're going to be doing once you get married and you have those kids. Because I know he's not planning to be the one to raise them. I know he's not planning to be the one to carry them and birth them and breastfeed them and all of that. So what kind of effort should you
True.
expect before you put your body
Hold
lets you
up,
get hung
YV
up?
edit. Why are you starting to make some sense here? Why are you starting to make some sense? Chill with that. Chill with all that, girl. Chill with all that. She can make some points sometimes.
You do not need to get hung up on him because that is going to be the pattern that you end up in for the rest of your life. Like, a man who lets you get hung up on him is a man who doesn't care about you in the first place. Like, a man who's willing to conduct himself in such a way that you're always wondering, you're always making excuses, you're always accommodating. That's not a man who even like base level likes you in the first place. Do not overly praise effort because that should be happening regardless. If a man wants to marry you and he wants you to have his children someday, he better get used to putting in a lot of effort all the time, every single day, because that's what you're going to be doing once you get married.
She just said a woman's going to be putting in effort all day, every day, once you're married and you have those kids and raise them. Wow. Wow. I didn't think I'd ever hear her say something like that. Wow.
And you have those kids. Because I know he's not planning to be the one to raise them. I know he's not planning to be the one to carry
Nope.
them and birth them and
Nope.
breastfeed them and all of that.
Definitely not birth them. I'm not doing that. I could breastfeed them. I wouldn't be opposed to breastfeeding, but I'm definitely not birthing them now.
So what kind of effort should you
I'll play catch with them, but when they start to cry, I'm leaving. You handle it.
expect before you put your body through all of that? There should be a base level, okay? Even if you
I'll get one of those small basketball hoops and just dunk on them. Boom. Take their hands and like spin them around, spin them around in the yard, make them real dizzy and shit. And then when they start crying, I'll be like, "Hey, get the kid. I gotta go to the Whole Foods. Get the kid. Get the kid. I gotta go to Whole Foods. Honey, get the kid. He's crying. I don't know what happened to him. He wants you. He's crying out for you. He's just started missing you a crazy, crazy amount. I gotta go to Whole Foods. Bye."
and the man don't plan on having kids ever, the access that he's going to have to all the like positive things that benefit men when they're married, that should be enough for him to put in a lot of effort and not just up front, but every single day. And the moment that he stops putting in that effort,
I like it a lot.
he doesn't really fuck with you. Like, he doesn't really like you. My husband makes an effort every single day in some way, shape, or form. And every single day, I know that he has thought about me. He has made an effort towards me. And I never wonder whether he
I'm sure he does. I'm sure you got him absolutely just. That dude is just. Woo! She runs that guy just like a tight ship. He's completely just devoted, sold. 100%.
like
She's got it. She's got it locked down, man. She knows what she's doing. That dude doesn't have a shot, bro. At making like any decisions, like this dude is just. What do you want? What do you want? Hey, there's nothing wrong with that. She gets. Hey, if a woman can do this, you got to give her props. You know what I mean? It's kind of like, kind of respect it, kind of like respect on some level. You know what I mean? Like shit, you stand on business. Stand on business, girl. Stand on business. Showing that business, son.
likes me or not. I know he likes me a lot. I
Mhm.
know he likes me.
She seems like she's getting emotional here. Seems like she's getting emotional. Am I misreading this? She looks like she's starting to get a little emotional here. Why have you had it?
Of effort, and not just up front, but every single day.
She starts to get a little, starts to feel it.
And the moment that he stops putting in that effort, you know he doesn't really fuck with you. Like, he doesn't really like you. My husband makes an effort every single day in some way, shape, or form. And every single day, I know that he has thought about me. He has made an effort towards me. And I never wonder whether he likes me or not. I know he likes me a lot. I know he likes me a lot. I never have had to question that. I've never had to argue with him about, are you ever going to show me that you love me or care about me or listen to me?
Probably busts in the door every single day with flowers. I love you, girl. I love you. I love you. She's just like, yeah. I heard you yesterday and the day before, and the week before, and the month before. I love. They're like sliding on his knees with like this huge bouquet of flowers. I love you, girl.
I've never had to write him paragraphs or letters or, force him to sit down and hear me out and listen to my perspective on things. Like, I've never had to do that. I've never had to do that. We don't need to argue about it if you don't care. Like, I'm not going to argue with you. If you don't care, I don't care. And genuinely, this is about claiming space.
That's it.
I never have had to question that.
This is what I was talking about yesterday, where she was saying something. I was like, this kind of makes sense, actually. Sometimes she stumbles, into some sense, and it's actually quite profound.
I've never had to argue with him about, are you
Not to say that she's not always like drowning in sense, like she's drenched in sense, you know what I mean? Like she is sense. This is the female embodiment of sense, you know what I mean? Like she's the queen of sense.
you ever going to show me that you love me or care about me or listen to me? I've never had to write him paragraphs or letters or, force him to sit.
Nah, she's doing one word one word text. One word text. She's cool, man. She's too cool for writing like too much stuff, bro. She doesn't have that much time.
Sit down and hear me out and listen to my perspective on things. Like, I've never had to do that. I've never had to do that. We don't need to argue about it if you don't care.
We don't need to argue about it if you don't care. Like, I'm not going to argue with you.
I'm not going to argue with you. If you don't care, I don't care.
If you don't care, I don't care. Interesting. Interesting. I don't know. A little weird. You don't care, I don't care. Oh, you don't care about that? Yeah, I don't either. So, really? Because it kind of seems like you do. No. No, I don't care. No. I don't care about that. You sure? Yeah, no. Because it kind of seems like you can. No. I'm good. You don't care, right? No. I don't give a shit. Yeah, no. I mean, yeah, neither.
You know what I mean? Okay.
If you don't care, I don't care. How does this plug into the I'm just kind of wondering how this plugs into the like a woman makes all the decisions, a man just follows the lead, you know, all this stuff. It seems like a woman should be like, I care about this. And then a man should be like, yeah, because you care about it, I care about it too. It doesn't seem like there should be a way in her kind of relationship or what she kind of advocates for in like a heterosexual relationship that works where women are centered and men are like decentered, where a woman is in the lead and the leadership role and she's making all decisions and the man just kind of follows and does what she wants him to do, right? And just, you know, works to make her happy. It doesn't seem like there would be a place for if you don't care, I don't care. Seems like it would be like, I care about this, so you're going to care about this. And then the guy's like, yeah, no, I care about it. Yeah. You know, and am I crazy? Am I crazy? You don't care, I don't care. I'm not going to argue with you.
Like, I've never had to do that. I've never had to do that. We don't need to argue about it if you don't care. Like, I'm not going to argue with you. If you don't care, I don't care. And genuinely, this is about claiming space. And this is about...
If you don't care, I don't care. That almost sounds, you know what that almost sounds like? That almost sounds almost borderline submissive. It almost sounds like, if you don't care about it, then I don't care about it. It's almost like, honey, she's saying to her husband, if you don't care, that means that I don't care, because I care about what you care about. Why, Vieta, you got to be careful here, girl. You got to be careful here. Don't stumble into submissive shit accidentally.
leverage as well. So when you are always like fighting for a man, you're always screaming, crying, throwing up because he won't treat you right, and he's watching you do all of that, and he like barely changes or doesn't change or only changes for a...
It's like the movie Obsession. Why won't you love me the way I love you? You guys got to watch Obsession, bro. That shit's nuts. That shit's wild. I should go see it again.
day or two, and then he like goes back to his old ways. That's the amount of leverage that you have. None, right? None. A lot more effective in the long run to be the kind of woman that just doesn't give a shit. I'm not going to fight for you. I'm not going to fight with you. I'm not going to argue with you. I'm not going to prove my worth to you. I'm not going to give you any ultimatums. I'm not going to like put myself out for you. I'm not going to justify your behavior. I'm not going to excuse your behavior. I simply know what kind of behavior I will and won't put up with. I always have the means to leave, that I don't have to, you know, sit here screaming, crying, throwing up about I trusted you and you cheated on me and now I have no place to go. I have no place to stay. I quit my job for you. I raised your kids. You have to get to a place where none of that is like a barrier to your exit. Because anything that you're screaming, crying, throwing up over, those are things that are out of your control, and those are places where you feel like you have no leverage. So it's really all about leverage. And this is all important to do before you get married. And while I agree, it can absolutely...
It's kind of interesting. She seems like she would just, if you don't care, I don't care. I mean, I definitely can't see why Vieta like ever like throwing up or like crying or screaming or being like, you know, I did this for you and blah 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 blah. I had your kids and all this stuff. I definitely can't see her doing that. I can see her just like not being there one day. You know what I mean? Like you just come home and like all her stuff is gone. She's gone. She's gone. She's like you just never hear from her ever again. She just leaves a YV edit size hole in your life. You know what I mean? She seems like she would plan like everything just like clandestinely, you know. You'd have no idea like what the hell she's gonna do. Like you wouldn't know like her next move, you know, and then you'd just be hit with it. It's just like, oh shit. She seems like she knows what she's doing. But it also kind of seems like, you know, if you can just leave. I mean, it seems mature. What she just said, it seems very mature, you know. It seems like what a mature woman would think, but it also seems at the same time sort of a little bit psychopathic, sociopathic. It like sort of implies that you can just leave someone you've spent years with and had kids with, and you can just one day just be like gone. Like, I'm not going to argue with you. I'm not going to like beg you. I'm not going to try to convince you of anything. It's just, if you don't do what I want you to do, or if you start doing behaviors that I don't tolerate, then I'm just gone, you know. And like, it seems like real relationships would it would be that would be a bit hard. It's one thing to like talk say that stuff, but to actually do that in practice would be quite something different. But you know, because there's like emotions involved. At least I think there's emotions involved, you know. But
work to like decenter your husband when you're already in that marriage relationship. But like even Kelly will tell you that her and her husband almost divorced over this. And luckily for her, she just wasn't about to give a shit. And he was like, wait, I love that. And I do think that if you can do this and your husband can sort of like handle it, you'll probably come out the other side stronger. But even better is to do this before you ever get married, is to set that tone in your relationship right away. Why? Because a lot of people are going to come into my comments and be, this isn't equal, this isn't equality, whatever. There needs to be an overcorrection. Okay. There's been an overly, like, we live in a lopsided society where men are given the benefit of the doubt, where they're allowed to do the bare minimum, et cetera, et cetera. And it shapes our world and our society in a certain way where men have come to expect that from women. And that expectation is entitlement. That expectation is the patriarchy. So you need to actually counteract that balance. And if you really, really want to find a non-patriarchal man, it's going to be the man who is going to be happy with you doing the bare minimum. It's going to be the man who's going to be willing to inconvenience himself and go out of his way for you, because he knows that you're already like inconvenienced enough in your everyday life as a woman to begin with. So for him to provide equity in your relationship, he needs to pick up some of that slack. Like, if a man really loves you, he's going to be willing to pick up some of that patriarchal slack and not make it your problem. Because this also translates into exactly how
you guys were the leaders and like the decision makers and stuff. Sounds like we're doing things. We're making decisions. Are we making decisions? Or are we just kind of doing what you tell us to do? Or I don't know. No. Seems like picking up the slack and like trying to make your life easier. I don't know. It's a bit condescending, maybe. I don't know. It's almost like treating you as if you can't handle things yourself. As if you need help. I don't know. What else did we watch? Oh man. Good old Wivey Edit. Good old Wivey Edit. Women Love Drama by Kayla and Marissa.
Women are consuming poison and they're calling it entertainment. I can't open anything on my phone without being bombarded by women that I know in my area and women all over the world obsessing over shows like Love Island, The Bachelor, these degenerate reality TV shows. I can't believe you guys watch this stuff. You gotta stop.
You don't watch it?
It's brain rot. It's rotting your brain.
But the rot shall set you free. So, have you not heard of that? Not heard of the saying, the rot shall set you free? Is this not brain rot that I'm watching right now? Surely not.
I've never really understood the fascination with this.
You don't watch these shows? I'm shocked.
I always thought it was weird that people really liked these shows. However, now that I look on it, now that I'm a little bit older,
You sound like you're 18.
women love drama. They survive
You or like other women?
off of drama. I've seen it time and time again through things like a stable relationship. A woman can be in a stable relationship and she will create unnecessary drama just to have some sort of entertainment through that drama. Now, of course, they do this subconsciously. And even me, myself, I think that I do this as well.
Wow.
I try to be conscious of it, but I realize that, okay, why am I being a little bit unnecessarily emotional right now? Am I
She's
trying
Southern,
to
huh?
some sort of...
She's Southern. She got that Southern drawl. She got that Southern drawl. She be listening to a little bit of Charles Wesley Godwin. A little bit of Whiskey Myers. Some Charlie Crockett. There's a tide turning in this temporary town. Winds of change blowing and throwing dust up off the ground. I'm all burned out on Heartland skies. She probably knows this song.
debate or conflict or
What's the super Zach Bryan? Is it Zach Bryan? Some Zach Bryan.
drama just for entertainment. So even myself, someone who's aware of these things and aware of the natural ways that women act without thinking about it, I still do it sometimes. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna sit here and act perfect, okay? But let's go back to these shows I'm talking about.
Appreciate that.
Can't even begin to process the interest people have in these shows. They're completely fake. They're completely scripted. Why are you investing your energy, your time into these shows? Why are you investing your attention into these things? Attention is currency. Where you put your attention is where things flourish. Whether that's negative or positive, it's going to have an effect on you. So if your wife or your girlfriend likes these shows, you should be worried because women are very influenceable, and even without realizing it, they can be influenced to do things that are negative to their life and the people around them, and they can be influenced to think that that is better and that is good. Women power, women empowerment, woohoo. So what do these shows promote? Well, if you have a brain and it's working, you'll know that these shows promote promiscuity, cheating, a lack of pair bonding, betrayal, impulsiveness, conflict, gossiping, all sorts of things that don't come from God. They don't come from a good place. They are all the most degenerate, disgusting things in human nature.
You talking about the Lord? You talking about the Lord our God?
Jealousy is another one, okay? So let me just pretend right now. I'm a woman. I'm going to come home from my job.
Pretend you're a woman. You don't gotta pretend that, girl.
Probably gossip a little bit with my boyfriend or my friends or my family about my day at my work and the people there. And then I'm going to sit down and I'm going to waste my time turning on a show with half-naked women and half-naked men that are just trying to hook up with each other. Nothing more, nothing less. It's completely scripted. It's totally fake. And then I'm going to take my phone, take a picture of the screen, post on my Instagram talking about how much I want this guy to be with this girl. and how much this girl shouldn't have done this, and this girl was blah 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 blah. How much
Is this what women do? I don't even have an Instagram or like anything, so I don't like look at stories or I literally have none of that. I only have a YouTube, so that's women are funny.
filler this girl has, how much like better this girl looks than the other one, how this girl reacted. Why do you care? No one cares. I mean, clearly, obviously, people care.
Hell of people care.
But like, what? What kind of clown world are we living in? What kind of clown world are we living in?
Clown one.
I'm just gonna let that sink in for a second. I'm gonna sit down, watch the show, take a picture, and then talk about these people who are completely fictional because the characters are made up. They are told how to act. They're told what to do. It's completely scripted. The producer.
People still watch WWE. People still watch politics. Those things are scripted.
Producers
People watch movies.
sit down and they write out this whole degenerate plot to keep you addicted.
Just because it's scripted doesn't mean it's not interesting.
How can you not know that? And if you do know that, how can you continue to watch that knowing it's completely fake? If you're a woman, especially, you need to protect your brain. You need to protect your mind. In the Bible, I've mentioned this before in another video, the Bible mentions to protect your mind a lot. It emphasizes that really. And it's important for everybody to protect their mind from different things. For men, pornography, of course. Exposure online.
Preach,
things
girl.
that can lead them into temptations
trying.
and lustful thoughts, etc.
I'm
not
trying.
a man, so I don't start.
I'm getting lured into the valley of the shadow of the Abella danger.
With those things. Can't speak directly on them. But I'm a woman, and what I can speak on is our minds and how easily influenceable they are. Okay? You can go into a show like these degenerate pieces of trash. You can go into them knowing they're fake. You can go into them knowing all that. And you could still.
Library Cop sends the $5. Says, hey, saw my first Honey Rom video last night. Left me speechless in a weird way. Yeah. Yeah, Honey Rom. Maybe we can watch some Honey Rom. She is a woman of YouTube. Well, is she a woman or is she a goddess? A mystic, a banshee. Yeah, maybe we could watch some Honey Rom. Yeah, she kind of has that effect. She kind of has that effect. You can't really explain it. I definitely understand Library Cop. I definitely understand. You can't really explain it. She does have an effect, though. Very spiritually powerful woman. Up in them mountains. The Banshee of Romania. Romania. Yeah, maybe we could watch some of her.
Still fall into the trap of believing the ideas they're pushing, okay? Which is crazy, but it's just true. We are weak-minded. Females are weak-minded. Women are weak-minded.
Whoa, 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 girl. That's pretty misogynistic talk there. Might I suggest you watch a woman who goes by the name YV Edit? She might be able to convince you otherwise. She might be able to convince you otherwise. Weak-minded. You ever heard of Honey Rom? Ever heard of YV Edit? Huh? You ever heard of the Yumi verse? You ever heard of Shelby? No, maybe not that one, but let's not be misogynistic here, all right? Women are capable. You know how many mayors of police there are? Huh? They're not weak-minded. Mayors of police are not weak-minded. You know how many CEOs are women? CEOs are not weak-minded. Not weak-minded. Come on. You're a woman. You're not weak-minded. Strong. Strong.
I don't care who you are. You could be the strongest woman ever. You still have flaws and weaknesses in your mind.
Well, I mean, if you're just gonna, I mean, everyone does then. Everyone does. If that's the definition, I mean, everyone does. You don't think MJ had weaknesses in his mind? Michael Jordan? Hmm. Humble Legend sends the $5. Says the only time I listen to women is when I watch your live streams. Hell yeah, brother. Hell yeah. This is good. This is good. I think we need to listen to women more often, huh? I'm enjoying this. This is the most I've enjoyed a live stream in a long time. Probably all this feminine energy I'm getting. Even though it is digital. But it's just the times that we're living in. You can't really expect that you get flesh and blood female energy anymore. You gotta take what you can get. Yeah, I enjoy this. This was great. I muted the mic for a second. This was a great idea, Wilson. Great idea. All right. Whatever. He's being a bitch. Nothing? Anything?
Okay? That's why it's extremely important that you protect your mind with all possible routes. TV, music, the friendships you have, the conversations you have, the things you talk about, the way you talk about things, okay? You've got to be constantly self-analyzing and adjusting and removing what doesn't work and doing more of what does work, okay? So one of those things is
Makes sense.
the shows you watch, like I just mentioned. And let's just break down what do these shows promote. I've already talked about some things like betrayal, impulsiveness, jealousy, promiscuity, cheating, lack of pair bonding, all this junk that is destroying the family unit.
Junk. I like her accent. Junk.
What else is it teaching women? It's teaching us to seek attention. The more attention you can get as a woman, the better. So that fuels the fire of the female competition, because you can see in these shows, which I've never watched.
Sometimes I think that, I mean, it's really just only ever been about attention and always will be. It's not really, I mean, women will say anything just to get attention. But yeah, sometimes I think that.
By the way, I've just seen clips through online social media and
So if you hear like women just saying absolutely heinous shit, just like saying like completely like triggering stuff, just like how could anybody believe this? It's just the fact that like women don't believe anything. They don't have beliefs. They just say things just to get attention. They just want you to pay attention to them. That's it. They don't care about what they're actually saying. You know what I mean?
people posting on their stories, but clearly it's so evident. It promotes the female competition, but in the wrong way, if there's even a right way. It promotes, oh, the more skin I show, the better I am than her. Or the more I put out myself, the better I am than her. The more I make snide comments about this girl, maybe this guy will like me, which is all fake. As we know, I've mentioned that multiple times here already, but it's done this way for a reason, to promote that to the women watching, because who are the main audiences? The women. And if you can corrupt the minds of all the women, you can corrupt the minds of the household, and so on and so forth. Or you can even prevent a household from happening, because you've already made this woman hate men or be a hoe, whatever it may be, and now her value's gone. Another thing these shows promote is lust, okay? This is detrimental to both sides. It's showing basically naked women with men. They're all aroused. They're all going there for one thing and one thing only. No one's there to find love. You don't find love on a TV show. Come on. You don't even find...
Just trying to find some sweet walls.
I guess you can find love on dating apps. That's a whole nother video, but a whole bunch of just psyops. It's disgusting, really. Really interfering with the natural human order. But anyways... So you're just promoting this lustful, disgusting, degenerate activity.
Degenerate.
And I'm not gonna speak on the male aspect of this right now, because there's a whole other thing about that, whole separate video. I'm talking about women, okay? Because I am a woman, as I keep stating. I want to make that clear for any women that are mad about the things that I say. That's why I keep saying that, because you guys can get mad at guys for talking about that. Think you can, but you can't get mad at me because I'm a woman and I know how you guys operate. I know how I have operated naturally. It is detrimental to the psyche of women to operate in this manner. Why? Because women pair bond. So what does that mean? If a woman is too ran through, that drastically decreases or diminishes her opportunity to bond with a partner for life after she's already been through the runner, if that makes sense.
All right. Yeah, we get it. We get it. We get it. Oh, man. 3 hours, huh? 3 hours. Ugh. I don't know if I can do any more. I don't know if I can do any more. Made $22, so that's good. I suppose that's all I'm worth, huh? Suppose that's all I'm worth. Put in good hours here. Good effort. Good effort, Marshall. Throw $20 your way. I might come back later on with a chess stream or something, but I think that's good enough for now. I think that's good enough for now. So, because I have to like eat and stuff and, you know, watch some World Cup football, and, you know, so gotta get to going. Yeah, hopefully you enjoyed this stream of women. I know I did. It was fun. We should do this again sometime. All right. Peace out.